FM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Cowboys dominated on Monday Night Football. They beat the Raiders in Las Vegas 33-16. Boys return to action Sunday. NFC East showdown against the Philadelphia Eagles at Jerry World. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud back at practice today. Still, though, in concussion protocol. And according to head coach DeMeco Ryans, he will not play on Thursday against the Buffalo Bills.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He's Jason Minix, and Minix, I'm already hearing it. Cowboy fans going back to the Super Bowl.
Here we go. Anthony Moreno, we're going to call you out early. Although
back
he did
to
put
the Super Bowl. Here we go.
laughing face emoji. Cowboys, Super Bowl bound is what he wrote.
Back to the Super Bowl. And it's not just Anthony. Not just Anthony. I heard it this morning.
From who?
At the gym.
Ray?
Different people. No, not Ray. Ray's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Well,
so
his team ain't going either.
Well, they got a better shot than the Cowboys do.
He's still not going.
I'm just saying.
There's a 7% chance that the Cowboys make the playoffs.
7%. Having said all of that, great game by the Cowboys last night, a dedication game, if you will. I think that had a lot to do with it. I really do. Cowboys played with a lot of emotion last night, obviously for Marshawn Nealon, and they played a very horrible Las Vegas Raiders team.
How do you guys honestly take last night's win? I can't even say it without because the Raiders are a crappy team.
Oh,
but you beat the crap out of a crappy team, which is what you're supposed to do.
I agree with that.
But then also, in fairness, the Raiders, last time out, lost to Denver 10-7.
Uh-huh.
Denver's good. Denver, right now, first place. And they only lost that game 10-7. The week before, they lost to Jacksonville 30-29. The Raiders also have a 25-24 loss on the schedule to the Chicago Bears, which are 7-3. And I know the Raiders aren't good record-wise. I watched them last night. I don't think they're a very good football team to begin with, poorly constructed. I don't know what the hell Chip Kelly's doing with that offense.
Awful.
Let's draft Ashton Gently and not hand him the ball. So when you look at it, you had a dominant offensive performance, especially in that first half, and I think in the second half you could tell they kind of let the foot off the gas, which bothered me a little bit. But offensively, especially in that second quarter, the Cowboys' offense looked like the Cowboys' offense we expected them to be all game, and the same offense that we've seen do that to good teams, not just bad teams. You know, offensive line did a pretty damn good job for the most part on Max Crosby. Defensively, I don't know if I should be excited, impressed, or it was the Raiders, right?
Well,
because the new guys look good, but against a bad team.
I don't know. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of credit. The thing is, the Cowboys survived. They survived an early fumble by Prescott, caused by Max Crosby, where they got the football very deep in Cowboys territory. The defense held them to a field goal. Raiders were able to drive again down the field. Nice drive, but they stopped in the red zone and had to settle for another field goal. Couple of touchdowns there, and maybe it's a different ball game. I don't know, but it is what it is. And even I think it was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman last night were talking about the troubles that the Raiders have had in the red zone, and they certainly did that again last night. But look, you got to credit the Cowboys. A bad team. They beat a bad team. They did what they were supposed to do, and now you move on. I think, obviously, they're better defensively than they were going into the bye week with the additions of Williams and Logan Wilson. I think that helped. And you got Evershone back. You had Ravel played some time. Deron Bland certainly made up for his disaster in Arizona, so he played better. They're a better defense. Now, how good are they? I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of football games.
I really thought that Ashton Genty would have a hell of a game. 6 carries, 7 yards.
So you lost money is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Geno Smith did not look like a Hall of Famer.
Not at all.
27 of 42, 238, sacked 4 times, threw that bad interception. I mean, again, for a one game, that's I think what Cowboy fans needed to see. You know, there's still a little bit of hope, although I think most are realistic. And according to the numbers that I saw on ESPN, a 7% chance of making the playoffs. But you also saw Dan Graziani this morning on Get Up say, you know, wasn't that long ago, the Eagles were, 9-1, 10-1, and lost like 6 in a row and lost the division?
They did.
Going down the stretch. Now, I look at the Cowboys' schedule. I know better, but if they can play like they did last night against the Philadelphia team, against a Kansas City team that, quite frankly, is struggling. You know, 3 weeks ago, I didn't think the Cowboys had a chance in hell at winning that game, and I was wondering why I was making the effort and expense to go spend my Thanksgiving to watch that. Now I kind of feel like, based on the way I saw the Cowboys play yesterday and the way I've seen the Chiefs play of late, 2 bad football teams always make a great game, and I think that's what we're going to get on Thanksgiving.
Well, you're saying that the Chiefs are a bad football team. I'm not ready to go there yet. They're not playing well. But, I mean, would you bet against that team right now not to make the playoffs and not to make a playoff run?
You know, here's the thing. That's 2 different bets, right? 2 different bets. If the Chiefs get in the playoffs, I would put money on them going to the AFC Championship game because Mahomes only knows to end his season there.
Sure.
But now there are some real questions on if they are going to be able to get into the playoffs. If they're in the playoffs, I would not bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. But right now, I don't know that I would bet that they will be a playoff team because of what everybody else in the AFC is doing. But if they get in, they'll be dangerous. But they're beatable. They look beatable. And if the Cowboys team that showed up yesterday shows up on Thanksgiving, the Cowboys have a chance to win that game. A couple weeks ago, I don't think anybody would have given the Cowboys a chance to win that game. In fact, good thing they announced Post Malone's playing halftime because there was something to look forward to. Now, maybe. Now, you know, Monday I might sing a different tune after watching what Philadelphia does to them. But, you know, but again, right now, Cowboy fans, that was an impressive win against a bad football team.
They look good. And, again, I think a lot of that was inspired by Marshawn Nealon. And I think in the loss of Marshawn Nealon, I think those guys played with a lot of emotion last night, and they wanted to get that done. And, again, I'm going to say it, I think this will show up against Philadelphia as well. They're a better defense than they were going into the bye. How much better remains to be seen. I can't judge it, and I can't say against that Raider squad because Geno Smith is just as good as he played in Seattle last year. He's played that much worse. Now, it's a much worse football team, to say the least, but some of the decisions he made last night were just absolutely horrible. Peyton Manning even getting on him last night for that interception that he threw when he had a wide-open Ashton Genty in the flat. Look, it's just a bad football team. Has Pete Carroll maybe it's time for Pete Carroll to hang it up and they need to start over, but they need to restructure that football team, and they need to do it quickly.
Yeah, there's so much wrong with them. And again, I think, you know, when you look at the Cowboys this year and, you know, their wins have all been against bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, that defense is about as good as they've looked all season. I mean, I know offensively they scored a ton against, say, the Jets and a ton against Washington, which was struggling, a ton against the Giants. They did score a lot against Green Bay. But how good is Green Bay, right? But that was the best defensive effort we've seen from the Dallas Cowboys this year against similar type crappy opponents. Offensively did exactly what they needed to do and what we expect of this offense, especially after the last 2 games, Denver and Arizona, which the offense was clunkish, if you will.
Clunkish, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, again, I cannot judge the Cowboys' defense what I saw last night. I just can't do it. I think they're better. I just don't know how much better they are. We'll see what they do against Philadelphia, who, quite frankly, has not been playing very good offensive football lately. Their defense is solid. That's going to be a good matchup going up against the Cowboys' offense. That Philadelphia defense is for real. But they're going to have to try and score some points, and they have not been able to do that as of late. So that's going to be an interesting football game. But you got Philly, you got Kansas City, you got Detroit are the next three. So, and that Detroit game is at Detroit, which is unfortunate because Detroit's a much better football team at home than they are on the road.
Can we just enjoy this win as a Cowboy fan?
We can't. We have to look ahead.
Why?
You know,
why 24-hour rule, man?
It was a game that they needed. The Cowboys needed it after a rough 10 days or so. So for that, I'm happy for them that they got it done. They won the game, and all of that. And I know we're going to get into it, but that whole charade of benching CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens for the first series. Everybody, Schotty, that guy, yeah, he's great. What? I mean, if you're going to do so, why don't you bench him for the half? What's one series do?
Get off my lawn.
It does nothing.
Well, I mean, it does. They're starters. They want to be out there on the first play.
Gosh.
It's ego. It was a soft benching. What I was really wanting to know, when they didn't get the start, if the Cowboys picked up a first down there, how long before they go in? Was it first series or the first couple of plays? If they pick up a first down, do they go in, or were they truly out the entire first series? Look, man, it was a 2-minute timeout. I would rather them, instead of doing something stupid like that, take away their dessert. Right? Do something. Make them do bear crawls across the band parking lot. But having to sit out the first series?
Yeah, just such a ridiculous thing.
Well, I mean, they were late. Apparently, they weren't very late.
It was ridiculous. Okay, it was. It was, and we wouldn't even have known that they were late. Just if they're in there, they're starting, and it's no big deal, and they got Schotty spanked their hiney in the locker room.
A little public embarrassment.
Oh,
and that's what it is.
You think they were embarrassed?
A little bit.
No, they weren't.
A little bit.
Not at all.
A little bit,
dude.
I mean, shouldn't ask you this, knowing how you are, but I'm sure you had some pretty light punishments for, maybe not the first two daughters, but maybe the fourth or the fifth when you were just tired of it. Look, man, just no dessert. Leave your phone down here for an hour. That's punishment.
Well, I don't know. I have to get Casey in here and Julie and some of the others in here, and then you can ask them that question.
Would you ever take the phone away for an hour?
Absolutely.
For an hour?
For an hour, no.
Yeah,
it would be longer than that.
Like
back
a
in the
week,
day,
and then after 2 days,
when
unplug it, maybe.
And I remember Casey specifically back then. I mean, the phone bill would come and it looked like a phone book.
Oh yeah, because all the text messages.
Yes, and you had to pay for those things back then. It wasn't unlimited.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kidding me? I used to slam that thing on the table and say, "Damn it!" I used to get pissed.
And she'd roll her eyes.
No, and the phone would be mine.
For how long?
It wouldn't be for a first series. I promise you that. It would have been for longer than that, at least overnight, maybe.
Overnight.
By the
go
time
to bed without your phone.
No, because that was the whole point of it. I would actually allow her to text after 9 o'clock
because it was free.
Right? So she couldn't do that. So, yeah, I just think it was a charade. But I mean, if you're gonna pat Schotty on the back for being
who's patting him on the back?
Oh, I heard it's Jimmy Johnson like. I think Troy Aikman said that. That reminds me of Jimmy Johnson type stuff. Please stop it. Stop it. It was ridiculous.
You're so
just ridiculous. My goodness.
Uh-huh.
After I was like, because I even text you. I said, What's the deal with CD and George on the bench?
Soft benching.
Soft benching.
I mean, they were in Vegas, so we're all going to jump to conclusions. By all accounts, they were late for a meeting.
Mm-hmm. So spank them on the little hiney and
try to shove it up their ass.
Yeah, whatever. That'll do it, Schotty. Sit them out for the first series.
I mean,
wow.
They're still trying to win a game.
What? So I wonder if Schotty would have done that like next week if they're late against Philadelphia. or Kansas City or Detroit. I just wonder if that happens during those games.
What would the appropriate punishment have been? No meal on the plane?
They get fined or something. You don't bring it up. Why are you bringing that up? See, Schotty does things sometimes. I'm convinced of it. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I like the guy. Just to draw it to see, look at me.
I don't think
Look at me. I'm a disciplinarian. Look at me. You see, I got these players.
I don't see that at all.
And then he's kissing their ass on the sideline the entire time.
Yeah.
I told him I loved him.
Candy Lee.
I spanked you, Heine, but I love you. I'm doing it because I love you. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Relax.
I'm trying.
No, you're not.
Well, dude, let's
talk about the game.
Well, after I talked to you, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Oh, Jimmy Johnson like. Let's talk about the game because Jerry talked last night, Dak, Schotty, the whole crew had something to say about what happened in Vegas last night. And we're talking about it when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And, I told you yesterday, and if you listen to me, I apologize because I thought against that Cowboys defense, go higher on Ashton Genty rushing yards. I blame Chip Kelly. But he did not go higher. He went way, way, way lower. Last night, I didn't win money on underdog, but you know what? It's basketball season. Spurs and Grizzlies are playing tonight. I'll build out a pick-em entry because that's what you can do. The best place to get in on all the action and make your picks and win money in Texas is at Underdog, and it's easy. You look at players, and you go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals. Get all your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. The Cowboys take on the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles at home. Pre-game at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam.
You like that? How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
This holiday season, Rachel will get Anna a fabulous faux fur coat. Anna will say Rachel shouldn't have, but Rachel didn't. Because Rachel will only have to spend $75 on a coat Anna thinks costs $200. But then again, it's what she thought that counts. Yes, JCPenney. Higher price $200 reflects comparable national brand. $75 Anna faux fur jacket reg $108. Valid through 12/24. See store or jcp.com for details.
Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ABC Wednesday. It's the CMA Awards live.
That's what I'm talking about.
With performances by Lainey Wilson, Kelsey Ballerini, Zach Top, Riley Green, Ella Langley, Kenny Chesney, Megan Maroney, Brandy Carlisle, and the hottest collabs, Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton, Shabuzi and Stephen Wilson Jr., Big X the Plug, featuring Luke Combs. It's country music's biggest night. Woo!
Hosted by your girl, Lainey Wilson.
The CMA Awards live Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC, and next day on Hulu.
Nigel, why is there a giant turkey standing on my desk?
That's Harold.
Well, then whisper these words, Nigel. Deep fried. From all of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we hope your Thanksgiving is filled with food, family, and fellowship. We couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
How about them Cowboys? We rise as one in Texas, sporting handed-down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam and lemonade on game day together, because people are good for you, especially for us in Cowboys country. Presented by Jim Beam, bringing fans together across Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's a hump day on the Morning Huddle. No Wemby. How did the Spurs look?
And we start looking forward to the Eagles. So much to get into. Are the Cowboys ready? Can Saquon run it? Oh, and by the way, no Wemby. Is there going to be an equal? Hey, got to do it. Get here early, party.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Smith in the black and silver. In the gun, back to throw. Pressured now. Say goodnight, Gino. Quinnen Williams. Enjoy your first Dallas sack. Smith in the shotgun. Back and looking right. Little late pressure. Now a lot of late pressure. And he's wrapped up by first Kenny Clark and second Quinnen Williams.
Boy, I tell you what. Yeah, Geno Smith didn't have a lot of time to throw the football last night. And credit Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. And I think, and I said this to you when we were prepping for the show, Williams made Kenny Clark a better player last night. And I think Kenny Clark, if anybody's probably as happy as anyone that Williams is now around.
You know, that entire defense, and you could hear even the excitement there with Brad Sham on the call on the Cowboys radio network and here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, because that was the best defensive performance that we have seen from the Dallas Cowboys. Good team or not, they played some bad teams and made guys like Russell Wilson look like a Hall of Famer. You know, you think about the Jets game. Defense didn't look that good against the New York Jets. Offense did. Defense, that was their best performance. Jerry afterwards said, you know what? They played to honor Marshawn Nealon.
I'm so proud of them. Proud of every last one of the staff and the coaches, Brian, his leadership throughout, and the players. This obviously is tough, but in a way, a game, a competition like this with the Raiders is good therapy to come back and get in it. They know how much Marshawn loved to compete, how much he loved the Cowboys. And to me, it's just a way of saying this one's for you, Marshawn.
Yeah, I think he's right about that. There was a lot of emotion that was played or that came into play from the Dallas Cowboys last night. I think all of them made the commitment to go in and play for Marshawn Nealon. They did that, and they played really well.
You know, and again, whatever the individual motivation was, and I know, and I'm seeing comments, especially from, I don't know, Eagle fan in your name, or, Joshua, who we know is a Houston Texan fan. It was a big win for the Cowboys. It doesn't matter, as Dak Prescott said, if it beat a crappy Raider team.
I hope we can take everything out of it. Honestly, it's the NFL, and we don't look. Let's not look at these records and understand that this is an NFL team, and this is more about us. We go in almost every game, really, right? Saying it's about us, and tonight's example of that. Right, it was a dominating win. Sure, I understand that they're struggling, right? But if we play that way, I don't care who it is. The score might not be that big, the margin might not be that way. But there's no reason that we can't be confident and feel like we're going to come out on top if we can play with that same intensity and effort and complementary football.
Yeah, I agree with Dak Prescott. You got to play like that if you're going to beat some of the teams that are coming up. You got to play exactly like that. Execute on offense the way that they did. Rush the passer the way they did last night against the Raiders. That's the only way you're going to come out and be successful against those other teams. You're going to have to play just that well, if not better, against starting with Philadelphia this Sunday.
And again, we all know the Raiders aren't a great team. One game sample size against a bad team, I think we still have some questions about the defense. But just from the effort and the technique, the display, all of it, this looks like a better defense today than it was before the trade deadline, than it was the last time we saw them with Arizona. When you look at 2 new guys in because of trade, a couple of guys coming back because of injury, Overshown looked fantastic. The rookie corner, Revel, he, quite honestly, I can't say I noticed him, which is a good thing, right? Now, granted, it was Geno Smith throwing the ball. But that defense has made other quarterbacks like a Geno Smith, who is a better quarterback than what we saw last night. No offensive line, no run game, an idiot play caller making $6 million a year that doesn't know how to hand the ball off to a top 10 draft pick. And who are their wide receivers right now?
They don't have any.
Right? So, they got 2 really good tight ends. But we didn't see those guys just getting torched. We didn't see... well, that was bad, right? Deron Bland looked fantastic last night. Big makeup game. So even though it was a bad Raiders team, is it fair to say this defense has gotten a whole lot better since the Arizona game before the bye because you got some guys healthy and you added in 2 new guys by way of trade?
I don't think there's any question they're better. I just don't know how much better are they. And I don't think we will know until this Sunday. Until Thursday against Kansas City. That obviously, no matter what you think about Kansas City, it is Patrick Mahomes, and the defense has got to play pretty well. And then you've got to go to Detroit after that, which typically has a pretty good offense unless they play Philadelphia. So, or outside, away from Detroit. So I think the jury's still out as far as that. But you have to say their defense is better than it was going into the bye week because of the trades they made.
I think that, and I'm trying to temper myself after what I saw last night, knowing what the opponent was. But there are certain things that you just, talent is talent. And like nobody says, Max Crosby just isn't very good because he's not on a good team. You can see the talent just jump off the screen. Even Jerry Jones last night, just talking about the defense, the new and improved defense.
We had valuable reps for those guys that hadn't been a hooker at safety. I just can't tell you how much we've missed hooker at safety. And then, of course, we were having some, as you saw, and that wasn't a mirage, even when they got the ball, they made a reception, we were hitting them immediately.
Yeah.
And so we were really able to use that additional pressure that we were out there getting on the quarterback. We were able to use that and really stay with those receivers across our secondary. Big difference.
There is a big difference. When you get pressure on the quarterback and make him uncomfortable, he's going to make some bad throws. the decision-making from Geno Smith last night is what I question. I mean, trying to squeeze some of those balls into very tiny windows, and some of the decision-making was just off when it comes to Geno Smith.
But again, as you just said, very tight windows. You got to credit the defense for that. How many games do we see this year where dudes are running wide open? And the pressure that was coming up the middle, right? Which again, you don't always expect pressure up the middle. And Kenny Clark got a sack last night. Quinnen Williams, everything that he was able to do. I mean, they even showed Jerry one time after that sack, and they went to him, and that dude was smiling. Yeah, I made the right trade.
Well, I was zeroed in on him early, and I wanted to see how the Raider offensive line was handling him. And I kind of caused you to sit back in your seat and smile a little bit. He was so dominant, and I have not, again, looked at the film on the way in, but, boy, I'm telling you, if we can get those kinds of plays and people have to adjust their blocking schemes for them, then you obviously get some advantages in other parts of your defense. And we just haven't had pressure like that, pass pressure. And so when you can be sound on against that run and then get some pressure too, and it's coming from a bad spot for the quarterback up the middle. And we haven't had that.
Wow. I thought Micah Parsons was on that team.
Well, I mean, just stop the run, too. They haven't had that. Parsons just goes after the passer.
I see.
Yeah.
And he doesn't come up the middle, and Jerry was making that.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Was that
the
a
place.
shot at Micah Parsons?
I think it was.
We'll take it that way, even if it wasn't.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was something else that he said that you could say, is this a shot at Micah Parsons?
He is the best leader that I've been around for a team, and period. And he just has a natural sense of what the situation calls for. He's had it since he walked through the door, and he's so much of the good things that he's been a part of had to do with that skill right there. But then you see it. He brings a certain confidence out there, and then you've got a guy that, he can have a bad series. He can have a bad quarter, but you got a guy that'll come out there and just completely erase it from his mind and really be as aggressive as it calls for. From the get-go this year, he's been our stalwart relative to our chance to win this year. And now then we're given a chance. Last night, that offensive line, that's been kind of makeshift for 4 or 5 ball games. That offensive line were able to get in there, and I thought did a real good job. That Crosby's a mess now. He's a mess. You want to see it. You want to see a defensive end that can flat rush that passer, but at the same time play that run. You don't want to go on his side of the field. So there's your outside guy that makes a difference.
Oh, whoa. That was a shot at Micah Parsons.
That was a shot at Micah Parsons. How about that? Interesting that he said that. He started out talking about Dak Prescott being the leader that he is and the best leader for this football team. And then, it went into shot against Micah Parsons and Max Crosby. And look, I don't think it's a secret. I think the Cowboys wanted Max Crosby. Yep. And if they could have made that happen, they would have made it happen. And you got to wonder about Max Crosby right now. I know he loves being a Raider, but on a bad football team like that where, look, I don't care if your name's Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, I don't care what your name is, one guy is not going to make a difference. And we saw that last night. Crosby did everything he could against double teams and everything else. It just can't get it done. One guy in football is not going to make that big a difference.
It's so weird. I'm conflicted with a guy like Max Crosby, who said he wanted to stay. Why? Part of me, I love a guy that will play their entire career with one team. Through and through, man, you are it. And I know, here in San Antonio, we're spoiled with guys like 5-0 and Tim Duncan, but they were winning championships. You go back and you think about the non-championship days. DeMarcus Ware, I know, never wanted to trade teams, but he wanted a ring too, and he left to be able to go do that. And how many times have we seen Cowboy players Des Bryant, play their entire career, and we say, man, Jerry wasted that guy, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick. I mean, and so, I mean, part of me wants to, man, dude, Max Crosby, I love the fact that you are a Raider through and through, but, dude, don't you want to win? I mean, that's the conflicting part. If you want to win, you know you got to get the hell out of there. Well, I know that guy wants to win. He also wants to win with the Raiders. It's weird because if I were a Raider fan, I'd be thankful that he wants to stay. As a Cowboy fan thinking we have a chance to get him, dude, what's wrong with you? Get out of there. Not like you got a chance to win in Dallas. They don't win either, but at least you'll have a cool helmet.
Well, well, the Raiders helmet's pretty
I
cool.
know.
It's not bad.
But you know what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly. In their owner's haircut, that dude. Hey, Mo.
Dude, did you see Jerry and Mo talking to each other?
Oh, my
and somebody
gosh.
tweeted out like the 2 worst billionaire haircut club members.
Oh, my gosh. That dude's haircut is something else. Yeah.
Have you seen his lady?
Yeah.
Good for him.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, money will get you a lot of things, won't it?
Apparently, she didn't know he was a billionaire.
Oh,
Wink,
sure
wink.
she didn't, yeah.
Wink, wink.
Oh, I just love you for you. In that haircut. I love it. It's great. Oh, you have money? Oh, well, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Come on, please. Oh, my goodness. What was the whole CD Lamb and George Pickens thing? The soft benching, the ridiculous out for the first series.
It was punishment.
It was ridiculous.
It was punishment.
And how did it punish those guys? Did it cost them money?
They didn't get the start.
And?
Maybe they have clauses in their contracts about starting versus not.
Yeah, well.
Ego. It was a bruise to their ego.
Oh, I'm
sure. It was a public spanking, Mr. Reinagel.
Yes.
Because in 2025, you can't actually spank your children. All you can do is embarrass them in public. And you do that all the time to your kids.
Those guys did not look like they were embarrassed at all. Now, they went out and played really well, and especially George Pickens.
Oh, yeah.
Pickens went out and just was unstoppable. There's no doubt. And CD had his moments. Jake Ferguson had his moment. So everybody had their moment. Everybody got to play and played well. Dak Prescott with 4 touchdowns. That was good. But the CD Pickens benching, does anybody ever explain that?
Well, kind of.
Well,
no.
We'll hear from them, and then you can decide. When we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Before we go, though, I want to talk to you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Family-owned company, local company, and the absolute best in the business. You know how I know that? They've been in business here since 1983. Think about that. And they're still thriving in the roofing business. That long, you know they're doing it right, and they've got a long, long list of satisfied customers. It's all because they stand by their work. They do the work right, and they stand by their work. That's just how they operate at Stevens Roofing and Solar. Oh, yeah, I mentioned solar. They are in the solar business now, too. So if you've been thinking about getting solar panels on your house, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the company you want to call. 210-785-0994. And again, they will stand behind what they do in the solar business as well. And look, we've got some rain coming up. It is in the forecast, apparently, and you want to make sure your roof is in good shape. Now is the perfect time to call Stevens Roofing and Solar. Again, that number 210-785-0994. Ask them to send a crew out to your house, inspect your roof. They'll do it for free, and they'll make sure everything is okay. Or they might tell you, hey, there's a problem over here, but we can take care of that. Or maybe it's time you start thinking about a new roof. Either way, you know what the problem is, and then you can handle it as you see fit. Stevens Roofing and Solar, the absolute best in the business. Give them a call, 210-785-0994, or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is hip-hop icon and radio host Ed Lover. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best Eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Find great savings at our Red Tag sales event at North Park Chevy in Castroville. Get $15,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado 1500s. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado Heavy Duty. Buy a new 2026 Equinox for the low price of $24,999. Or get a 2026 Traverse for $36,999. Together, let's drive North Park Chevrolet by Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com.
Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
This college football season, the Crunch Time Hero of the Week is brought to you by PorkRinds.com, the nation's premier hub for pork rind lovers everywhere. Each week, a college player will post on Instagram, and each share over a 2-week period equals a $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, which helps families who are dealing with DIPG, DMG, pediatric brain cancer. Giving back with the perfect snack to celebrate those big Crunch Time plays. Find your rind at PorkRinds.com or find Southern Recipe pork rinds at HEB.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
Prescott fakes a toss right. He's got Lamb wide open on the right side of the end zone. And the second R in Raiders. Touchdown, CeeDee Lamb. Snap to Prescott. Back. Steps up in the pocket. Deep to the middle, caught by Pickens, and he circles left and runs away 20, 15, 10, cuts right, touchdown. The Raiders just quit running after him, and Pickens made an incredibly surgical cut at about the 7-yard line, and then after running it in for the touchdown, draws a celebration penalty.
Brad Sham on the call right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and he had it right. At that point in time, the Raiders just stopped. They quit. And they really did, and they looked lost on both sides of the football at numerous times there. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. he is Jason. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that team. I don't know if it's Pete Carroll, if it's Brian Kelly, if it's both, but I think that team has said we're done.
Maybe. I don't understand what Brian Kelly was doing. You know, all the reports last night that and notice Tom Brady wasn't wearing a headset for this one.
He was not.
Chip Kelly is the highest paid coordinator at $6 million a year. His offense is ranked 31st. They've got a top 10 running back and a rookie in Ashton Genty that they don't use. Now, granted, there were questions last year at the draft. With all your other issues, why are you taking a running back top 10? But when you get an Ashton Genty sitting there, you take him, right? But if you're going to take him, you might as well use him. Defensively, I mean, and you heard Brad on the call there on the Cowboys radio network. I mean, Pickens made a great move, and I think some of those dudes stopped thinking maybe he was either down or just going to go out of bounds. But that move, world class. Now, you had CD score. CD should have scored a second one, dropped a pass that would have been an easy walk-in touchdown.
Wasn't the greatest of throws.
It wasn't. Well, although with the pressure, I mean, but still, it hit him right in the hands.
It did.
All right? I mean, was the pass perfect? Not even close. But was it a catchable pass for your number one wide receiver?
Should be.
Absolutely. He was thinking about what celebration he was going to do. I'm going to guess. Or maybe he was thinking about why he got in a little bit of trouble and was late for a meeting. Now, because it's Vegas, all of us are speculating strip clubs, out too late, whatever clubs. Unless you guys have seen something that I haven't. I have not seen any photos or video of those guys in any of the places that we're all suggesting that they could have been, because it's Las Vegas. So we're automatically going to assume they were either at a strip club or at the casino. They were somewhere, right? We have no idea. But I haven't seen any TMZ video. And Las Vegas is one of those places where a celebrity can't do anything in Las Vegas without somebody catching them on film, right?
True.
So, I mean, it's fun to joke about because, well, we all do Vegas, right? And if I'm going to be late for a meeting, there's probably a good reason why, and you'd be right. Blackjack table. Like, I'm glad when we do our show at Circa Las Vegas, it's from noon until 4.
And we're all done.
And we're all done.
That's pretty cool.
And noon is perfect. It's not too early, although kind of. And you get off work at 4 o'clock. It's fantastic.
Well, we got to be at work at 10.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got to prepare for the show and get ready. And
every time. I mean, really 9. And we meet for breakfast at 8 a.m., and then we go talk to the children at school in the library and all that. No. I mean, there's times where we've rolled into breakfast at 11 going, whoa, show today? Yeah, we're good.
Wasn't there a student in the class called Sydney?
Yes.
Yeah, she was there.
Yes.
We had to talk to her and make sure that everything was cool at the pool.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So it's all for you guys and gals out there. All for you. We do it all for you. So I'm just saying.
Now, why were they benched the first series? The variety of reasons we were given tells me that they did not get all on the same page of how they are publicly going to handle this. We'll start with Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah. Again, it's tough. You know, made a coach's decision. There were some things that were missed, and so I had a conversation with those guys, and that was easy. But I mean, you look at the energy those guys play with.
Yeah, okay.
Clarence are like, they literally.
Stop. All right. I mean, there were some things that were missed. Now, let's go to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee, why did you get benched?
What was the reason for not playing?
I'm not going in depth on that. Honestly, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I ain't going to tell you. I'm not going in depth.
Yeah, good for you.
What about you, George Pickens?
George, we were told that you didn't start this game due to a coach's decision. What were you told about why?
I don't think, I feel like certain personnels are built, for the running game. We kind of knew that we could exploit them running-wise, so a lot of heavy personnel.
Really? So you're going just straight personnel?
That's it.
Like Pickens lying through his teeth.
Big time.
I wasn't benched. It just that wasn't a personnel grouping for me.
We wanted to run the football, so we needed some big dudes out there.
Yeah, so although they had Flournoy and Tolbert, now they did run the ball, and I'm curious if they pick up a first down, do those guys stay on the bench? So CD says, I ain't getting into it. Schotty, things were missed. George Pickens, personnel groupings. I wasn't in any kind of trouble. All right, Jerry, what details can you give us?
Not really. That were in-house issues and had to do with really meeting-type discipline, and that's about all you need to go into it here.
Meeting-type discipline.
Now, in talking about George, Jerry did give us a little bit more detail inadvertently because he's Jerry.
That performance that George had last night was about as impressive. First of all, he was, I know that he was trying to show that because he had a late problem there that wouldn't affect his game. And so, bottom line, I'm so proud for us that we've got him.
A late problem is what it was. So late for a meeting, late for something. The team bust to the stadium. What was it?
I mean, so Schotty said miss. Jerry alluded to a late problem, meetings. CD said, I ain't giving you guys anything. And George said it was a personnel issue. It just, it wasn't our position grouping to be out there for the first play of the game.
Yeah, never.
Which, again,
George
makes us all wonder, because it is Vegas, were there people in the room that shouldn't have been? Were there things on the room charges that shouldn't have been? Were you out after curfew?
That could have been a late problem.
And again,
possible.
I mean,
it's Vegas.
Meeting starts at 8 a.m. and you guys are rolling in at 8:30 because a hell of a night at the casino. And that's understandable for most of us.
It's a late problem.
A late problem. A meeting problem. The guys, they went out there and played big-time football. Those two receivers combining for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, should have been 3. A hell of a game.
Yeah, and Pickens had 144 of those yards. Each guy had a touchdown. Great performance by both. George Pickens won the night, wide receiver-wise. The guy was incredible, and nobody could guard him. He was all over the place. So it was a great performance by him. And I'm sure it was the soft benching that motivated those guys to go out and play the way they did. I'm sure it was.
But also, I mean, because Ferguson played well.
He did.
Hunter Lupke had some big plays in the passing game.
That's what I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. I mean, Lupke, they used him finally. I mean, we've been talking about that for a long time. That you got a weapon there that can catch the football, he can run with football, and they used him. And that was perfect. I hope we see more of that moving forward.
And you had different guys that were open. And Dak Prescott going to the open guy. He made the comparison, man. He's just playing point guard here to get everybody involved.
Yeah, huge. I mean, getting those guys the ball, watching them run after catch, being who they are. 2 elite guys that complement each other, that build off of each other's energy. One go makes a play, the other one wants to make a play. Tonight was fun. Just as I've always said, right, I'm just trying to get the ball out of my hands to these guys, be like a point guard, and let them go do what they do best. And tonight was a good example of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way to look at it, I would think. You've got to distribute the basketball to your playmakers. That's what point guards do. That's what Dak Prescott did. And, again, all the credit in the world to the Dallas Cowboys for what they did last night. But talk to me next week.
Well, again, although it's funny because next week, Sunday, Cowboys will play an Eagles team that has 2 top-flight wide receivers, and one of them is unhappy. and it's funny because the Pickens we thought we were going to get and the Pickens that we have seen to this point are 2 very different people, right? I mean, Cowboys aren't winning. Lateness, personnel issues, what personnel formations, not issues. But again, getting benched, the Pickens that we thought we were getting from Pittsburgh might not have handled that situation well. He might have been pouty. I mean, think about what we thought we were getting in George Pickens and what the Cowboys have gotten from this guy are two very, very different players.
It's a contract year. You
well,
know
there's
that, right?
Yeah.
It is a contract year. So, I mean, he's on his best behavior. Now, I'm not saying maybe he's changed. Maybe he's seen the light and he knows he shouldn't be that way. We'll see after he gets a big contract because he will get one from somebody moving forward. So we'll see how he is then. But contract year, he's a smart man, knows that he needs to behave himself. So maybe that's it. Maybe not. We'll see.
Behave himself, huh?
Yes.
You realize he just got in trouble and got benched. He was in big-time trouble.
Is that the most seriously, the most ridiculous thing ever? I mean, I don't see the point of that. I really don't see the point of it.
I mean,
I just don't.
No,
somebody convince me because I just don't see the point of it.
I'm with you. Well, like tomorrow, all day, the morning huddle in the Blitz, we're going to be tomorrow out at Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit up there in Church. They're having their big holiday kickoff tailgate. We'll have to ask them when we get out there because that place is fantastic. And they've got all these areas for the dogs to go play. But I wonder if a dog gets in trouble, what do? Especially if you, as a dog owner, paid for playtime. But if your dog doesn't play well with others, I'm sure they got to put him in timeout for a little while. Or maybe they get the snack without the peanut butter. What's the punishment? Right?
So that was a timeout.
That's
George
it. That was a timeout.
A timeout.
That was a timeout. A minor rules infraction. They barked at somebody. They didn't bite. I mean, a minor rules infraction.
I would like to know. Somebody convince me because that seems just ridiculous.
It's public embarrassment.
Oh my gosh.
It's they peed on the floor and then got their nose rubbed in.
Public embarrassment.
This is what we're going to do to you tomorrow. Again, join us tomorrow out at Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit. Blitz is out there 2 to 6. We're actually letting the morning show out. They're going to be out there from 2 to 6.
6 to 10.
Or 6 to 10?
Yeah.
What'd I say?
2 to 6.
Yeah, no, we're 2 to 6.
Yeah, we're 2
They're
to 6.
6 to 10. What the hell do I know?
I have no idea.
All I can imagine
trying to figure that out for 4 years.
Rob Thompson at 6 a.m. waking up those dogs.
That's going to be funny as hell. So, make plans now to
I
go out.
won't hear it, but you guys tell me about it.
Yeah, shirts. That's where we'll be. Bluebonnet Bark and what is it? Bunk and Biscuit. That's the one. And we're on the road a lot this week because then Thursday we get to go out to Anchor Bar with our friends from Flight by Yingling.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. We'll get you ready for that Buffalo-Houston game. By the way, if you haven't heard, C.J. Stroud has been ruled out for Thursday night's game. Davis Mills will get his third consecutive start. So interesting. But make plans to come out tomorrow to Shirts, Thursday to the Anchor Bar, and you're going to have a great time because we always do.
We always do.
Cam Scatterboo, I've got to an argument with a Phoenix guy that covers Arizona State. Used to work here.
Stop.
Used to work here in San Antonio at News 4 San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's taken up for Cam Scatterboo. And I didn't remind him he's no longer at Arizona State.
Still a fan.
So you don't have to kiss his ass anmelore.
It's not.
You
kissing
don't have
his
to
ass.
do that anymore.
It was Cam telling you to get off the lawn.
Well, I'm just saying. I wish that was all he was telling me, because that would have made more sense than what he was trying to tell me. What did Cam Scatterboo do that got him in so much trouble? And people are hammering him, and he's firing back. We'll talk about it when we continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-35 with the Blitz.
Business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Hey, get ready to kick off the holidays tailgate style alongside your four-legged MVP. Join us at Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma on Wednesday, November the 19th from 9 to 6 p.m. for the annual holiday kickoff tailgate. They'll have great food, local vendors, music, giveaways, and fun for the entire family, including the furry ones. It's your chance to celebrate the season with the best fans in Texas, pet lovers and sports lovers alike. It's all going down at Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma on Wednesday, November the 19th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
By texting 24700, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from J. Crew Factory. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at jcrew.com.
At J. Crew Factory, we think shopping should be fun, really fun, as in scoring our exclusive collection of classic styles for the whole family at prices that can't be beat. And today, save even more. Just text GIFTING to 24700 to receive an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more at your nearest J. Crew Factory store. This holiday season, discover perfect presents for you and your crew. Shop cozy matching pajamas, toasty sweaters, amazing outerwear, festive accessories, and so much more. Get in the spirit at J. Crew Factory, where we have incredible deals every single day. Visit jcrewfactory.com to find your nearest San Antonio area store today. But first, get an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more when you text GIFTING to 24700. Text GIFTING to 24700 to get your $25 off coupon. That's GIFTING to 24700. See a store associate for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Fans, this game's for you. UTSA is celebrating all the fantastic Roadrunners supporters at our Fansgiving game this Saturday, November 22nd, as UTSA football plays host to East Carolina at the Alamo Dome. Log on to goutsa.com/tickets or call the UTSA ticket office at 210-458-8872 to purchase your tickets today. UTSA versus East Carolina this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Be there, because when we win, San Antonio wins.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud back at practice today, still though in concussion protocol, and according to his head coach DeMeco Ryans, he will not play on Thursday against the Buffalo Bills. UTSA senior running back Robert Henry Jr. has earned a spot on the Doak Walker Award semifinalist list. Henry, one of 10 semifinalists for that award that is presented annually to the nation's most outstanding college running back.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday out there. We certainly are here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix. And, well, I guess we're celebrating a Cowboys victory today.
Absolutely. I mean, it could have been a flop of a game last night. The only flop came from Tyler Guyton. That was world class. That might have been his best moment as a Dallas Cowboy.
It might have been. It was very soccer-like. Somebody shot him after he thought about it for a minute, and then went, wait, I got to go down. He got the flag, so I guess that's all that matters.
I mean, you noticed that.
I did.
I mean, I'd like to think with all the cameras, they would notice it, but would they have noticed it in the moment? I thought that was just weird. And then the punt onside kick, which I've never seen before.
I've never seen it before either, and you learned a lot there. I don't think the Raiders knew it was going to be a punt either because they weren't looking around. They were looking down on the ground trying to figure out where the ball was, and it does hit the ground. They had an opportunity, but George Pickens was there to snag it.
It took the right bounce. I thought it was cool, but you're right. I don't think any of those guys on either team were prepared, and the cameraman, because everybody was, where'd the ball go, right? Well, it was still up in the air. The hang time was forever.
It was.
It didn't go very far, which, again, that situation, that's what you're looking for. But I'm surprised the Raiders didn't try to get under it and catch it.
I am too.
Although I'm really curious of the rules, because even the rules expert didn't sound convincing when it was like, could George Pickens have fair caught that? Yeah, sure, maybe. I don't know.
It was weird. I learned a lot, or saw something that for the first time in the NFL for sure, but it didn't help them at all. That the safety was that the Cowboys got pretty much sealed the deal if there was a deal to seal. I don't think the Raiders were going to come back anyway. But interesting football game to say the least. And again, look, I'm happy for the Cowboys that they had a rough 10 days and they come out on the field and they were able to spank the Raiders. And, hopefully move on.
Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
Arizona State football legend Cam Skattebo causing a stir last night while we were all watching the Cowboys and the Raiders on Monday Night Football. He was at Madison Square Garden. WWE, their Monday night thing, was there, and he was a part of a skit. And a lot of people upset that he was a part of the skit. One of those people, Joe Reinagle. Yes. And honestly, me too. What the hell are you doing, man?
I have no idea. Remember, the guy's got a dislocated ankle, I believe, along with some other stuff. And you're part of a wrestling skit where there was some pushing and shoving going on. If I'm a New York Giant executive, if there are any of those left over there, I'm a little pissed off at that.
Now, part of me is like, we know it's a skit, but there was pushing and shoving, and anything can happen. Why would you put yourself in harm's way? And I get that, but also it's wrestling. We know it's fake. We know it's a skit. We know all of that is in play. But a lot of Giants fans going after Cam on Twitter, and Cam's upset by it. Do you have the tweet in front of you, or do you want me to paraphrase?
Well, just paraphrase. I'm looking for it.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. Football was taken away from me. I'm just trying to have some fun. It's all good, is kind of his response.
That's basically his response. And I only saw that tweet because a friend of ours, a guy that used to work here in San Antonio, retweeted and says, yeah, football players have lives. Yeah, they do. And it's crazy to talk bad about them when you do that. And so I just fired back. I said, well, yeah, I'm glad they have lives. That's good. But being a part of a skit when you're injured like that, that's kind of a different thing. So he fires back at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and says, well, could driving your car hurt his injury? What about going to the store? Steps can be tricky.
They can be.
How about walking and chewing gum? And I simply said, you're right. I got in a fight with a bunch of wrestlers at HEB yesterday. Happens all the time.
It does. And now Cameron Cox, who's been in Arizona now for years, he used to work at News 4.
Dude, please.
I mean, he's right.
He's not right.
No, he's right. I mean,
apples and oranges.
I mean, steps get icy in New York when it gets cold, and you got a bum leg.
Uh-huh.
My biggest problem with the Cam Scatterboo getting into that is it's his leg, and he was pushed and off balance a little bit. There's things in wrestling that's fake. It's coming, but if he tripped over somebody else or a chair there. I mean, that's the part that you worry about while you're rehabbing. If it were a shoulder injury, an arm injury, it's maybe not that big of a deal. But you're right. Anytime we leave our homes, and quite frankly, in your home, you could have some sort of accident.
Okay, accidents are one thing. Doing it on purpose is another.
Uh-huh.
It's apples and oranges. Is it not? Yeah, you could have an accident, and that could re-injure whatever you're injured.
Mm-hmm.
You're at a wrestling match, obviously a part of the skit that they're performing, and you're getting pushed around. That's not an accident.
No, and my guess is because there were a lot of Giants players there, they were all in on it. Whether the boss has signed off on it, who knows? But they do have a lot of pro athletes have clauses in their contracts about, like, they're not allowed to jump out of an airplane. Some aren't allowed to ride motorcycles. I remember when Jeff Kent had the motorcycle thing, was all trying to figure out, I slipped in the bathroom. No, you didn't, dude. You're a motorcycle guy, right? I mean, stuff happens. It's an unnecessary risk for somebody in the public eye rehabbing an injury. I can also understand it from Cam Scatterboo's point. Like, dude, it's not like I got to play this week. I'm hurt. Let me have some fun, man. Relax.
Well, and I'm all for it. I love wrestling. And I love doing the skits, and I love being a part of that. It's great. And I'm sure Cam Scatterboo probably has a career in pro wrestling once his football days are over. He's just that kind of guy, right? I mean, kind of flashy, and he's that kind of guy.
Hard-headed.
Right. So he'll be fine. But you're coming off an injury, and now you're
still hurt.
You and Jackson Dart are the future of that franchise. Huh.
It's the New York Giants. Let them get hurt wrestling.
I just wonder
I don't give a damn.
What the Giants brass had to say about that. Or some other players, for that matter.
Well, a lot of his teammates were there.
Who
knows?
Who knows?
So that fan that got into it the other day in New Orleans with Draymond Green, he's kind of telling a little bit different of a story. Well, not really different, but just adding a little bit more salt to it, if you will. The exchange, the words back and forth. Remember, he got under Draymond's skin by calling him Angel Reese. Now, Draymond just kept saying, he kept calling me a woman. And when Draymond went up to him, according to the fan, Draymond told him that to bleep, 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 bleep. I can't say.
You can't?
I can't. Basically.
He told him that he probably needed some oral pleasure.
Yeah, that's exactly the words he used.
And the fan should provide that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what he told him.
Yes. Think crawfish and Richard, and you got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what he wanted. He wanted the fan to do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to prove that he wasn't a woman, maybe.
Sure.
Although you never know these days.
Stop.
I have no idea. But so look, and by the way, the NBA has now warned Draymond Green to stop going after fans and talking to fans. So we'll see if that works on him or not.
Yeah, stop going after fans, Draymond.
He knows how big he swings it.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fan didn't because he never got that opportunity.
Thank goodness.
He was invited, but he didn't take him up on it.
You know, speaking of knowing how big he swings it, Greg Sankey is that way.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he runs college football. He says a 16-team playoff should be a priority for 2026.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if Sankey's saying that just to get more SEC teams in the playoff.
Well, of course he is.
Tourney.
Of course he is. And the Big Ten's trying to do something similar. The Big Ten and the SEC are trying to get as many automatic qualifiers as they can.
I have no issue with 16 teams. I really don't. I mean, they can make football as long as they want to. I don't care. I love it, and I want to see more of it. I'm just so look, if you're not in the Big Ten or the SEC or even the Big 12 at this point in time or the ACC, do you really have a chance to make any kind of playoff run? I know Arizona State won a game last year, thanks to Cam Scatterboo, in large part, but I just don't know that they do.
You know, everybody else, aside from the Big Ten and the SEC, are seemingly top-heavy. But you never know from year to year, what is the Big 12 going to offer you? You know, SMU in their deep pockets, you know, they made the playoff last year. They got trucked early. What are they going to be like? You know, now that James Franklin has taken over at Virginia Tech, are they going to be in the conversation? Will Clemson and Dabo figure it out? The Pac-12 is coming. Okay, never mind. But again, you look. I mean, are more teams in the playoffs better? One of the things that I liked about the 4-team, although I thought it should be 6 and no more than 8, is it doesn't water down the regular season. The fact that a Texas team right now is still in the conversation with 3 losses, to me, is unacceptable. As a Longhorn fan, they should not be in the conversation. They will be because there's, well, you know, right now 12, and if there's 16, you can have a couple of losses and still make the playoffs. It used to drive me nuts in the old system that the non-conference champion, you can win a national championship but not win your conference. That, to me, never made sense. But because there was a penalty if you lost in the conference championship.
There was.
And a benefit if you didn't even play in the conference championship. But to me, 16 teams, I mean, I know what you're saying, more football the better. What I really want to see in college athletics is take the Power 4, and if you give Pac-12 Power 5 status again, and it's the Power 5, have a playoff with those teams, and then a group of playoff. You know, the high school football playoffs are going right now in Texas. You've got, in every classification, Division I and Division II. That's essentially what we need in college football, a Division I playoff and a Division II playoff. And give these, you know, group of schools like a UTSA an opportunity. Now, would UTSA be in the mix this year? No. But in most years, they would be. But when you look at the group of schools, they're playing for one bid for a chance to go just get trucked. You don't think people are going to watch more football? They will. And they'd be able to make more money. That's more revenue share, which would help all of these other programs.
Look, you know, you got to win 6 games to be bowl eligible.
Yep.
I think there should be a limit to the amount of losses you can have to get in the college football playoff. Whether that's 3 or 4 or whatever the case may be, there should be a limit. Because I could see a University of Texas with 4 losses. Well, they're in the SEC. Their schedule was tough. And, well, did you hear Sark yesterday? We beat 5 top 10 teams and all of this. And we had injuries. And I think he was crying a little bit too.
A little bit.
So, but there should be a limit on the amount of losses you can have to get in the playoffs. I think that's appropriate. So we'll see if that happens. He wants to get that done for next year, by the way. So we'll continue to follow that and see what we can do. We're also following the Spurs, the banged-up San Antonio Spurs, taking on the banged-up Memphis Grizzlies tonight inside the Frostbank Center. We're We're going to preview that when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because of course you do. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to SASportsStar.com now and register to win. SASportsStar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Nigel, why is there a giant turkey standing on my desk?
That's Harold.
Well, then whisper these words, Nigel. Deep fried. From all of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we hope your Thanksgiving is filled with food, family, and fellowship. We couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
It's a little quiet on the border these days. Illegal border crossings at an all-time low because Donald Trump and Senator John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn has led the charge in the Senate, funding more agents, more technology, and more miles of secure border wall, beating back Biden's border failures, taking the fight directly to the cartels. Cornyn stands with President Trump, voting with him 99% of the time, supporting Trump's nominees, confirming conservative judges who defend our Constitution, and together, Trump and Cornyn put America first. They've worked to keep our families safe and our border defended. Yep, it's quieter on the border now because real leadership gets results. Call and thank Senator John Cornyn, 713-572-3337, and tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda. Paid for by Lone Star Freedom Project, LoneStarFreedomProject.com.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Pork rinds are the crunch time hero of the snack aisle. Low carb, college impact, and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. The porkrinds.com Instagram will make a crunch time donation with each share of the Crunch Time Hero college football post, with each share equaling a $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to helping families dealing with DIPG, DMG, pediatric brain cancer. Share on Instagram today and grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe pork rinds at HEB.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Brian Schottenheimer, good morning, Coach.
Hey, what's up, guys? I got to say, it was a weird transition for me to come on to the show and hear a bunch of moaning, and then I heard moaning and manning and all these things. It was really kind of weird. Edwin didn't prepare me for that.
Moaning? Coach, tell him. Can you tell the audience you've got no interest in drafting Arch Manning in the upcoming draft?
Brian Schottenheimer's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings, presented by AA Best Bell Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Aggies play here. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That's right, you sure are. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's a Blitz. I'm Joe. He's Jason.
Get us on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. At Jason Minix. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to give away, and Indy Kalu going to join us in about 10 minutes.
He is. Talk about that thrilling Houston Texans win over the Tennessee Titans last week. Thrilling. Why don't we give some stuff away right now? Put pledge to work before we get started. You want to do that?
Well, yeah.
How about the Growlers? You want to go see the Growlers, their North American Tour 2026? April 2nd out at the Aztec Theater. Of course, if you don't win the tickets here, you can always get some at livenation.com. Caller number what, Minix?
How many points did the Texans score last week? 16? Caller 16.
All right. 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN. Caller number 16. You'll get a pair of tickets to go see the Growlers at the Aztec Theater, April 2nd. Good luck to you. Any guess as to who wins this basketball game tonight between the Spurs and the Memphis Grizzlies?
Spurs.
Yeah, you think so?
Deeper bench, and they're the better team. And while their best player is out, the Grizzlies' best player is out. And De'Aaron Fox is going to be the best player on the floor. And Devin Vassell might be the second best player on the floor. So you got two teams that are shorthanded because the calf injury epidemic that is hitting the NBA has hit both of these teams. Now, Wemby was spotted at practice today with no boot, no sleeve, nothing on his calf. And quite frankly, almost looked like he was in timeout. He's off to the side. And just kind of, basketball, a little mopey. Video in pictures that Jeff McDonald from the Express News put out there. He just looks sad. Like, I want to go play, but I can't.
Like
he's in quarantine.
It's raining outside. I can't go outside. Yeah, it was something like that. He doesn't look bad. There's no boot. There's no nothing. But, again, I'm okay with the Spurs taking some time with this guy to make sure that he's okay. I mean, it just would be dumb not to. And they're certainly not dumb. They never have been, especially when it comes to injuries. So it will be interesting to see. Look, the Grizz have not gotten off to a good start this year. Ja Morant out. They do still have Jaren Jackson Jr., who's a hell of a player. But, I'm with you. The Spurs are a 6.5-point favorite the last time I checked as well. So they ought to be able to take care of business there. And they've got Atlanta coming in to finish off this homestand. And Trae Young is out. He's hurt. So they're getting pretty lucky when it comes to injuries, even though they've got a couple themselves.
And, again, if it's a 2 or 3 week injury for Wemby, it's about treading water at this point. What I find you brought it up yesterday, and I kind of joked, is it all these different floors? But why this year are so many NBA players dealing with calf strains? And it's not like it's a new injury. Not like we haven't seen calf strains, throughout time in all sports. But this year, it just seems like everybody's dealing with a calf strain. And I'm curious, when the NBA gets together with all their doctors and all their experts, if they could figure out the why. Is it stretching? Is it the shoes? Is it the court? Because I said that jokingly yesterday, but you look around and a lot of dudes with calf strains. Is it something that 5 years ago they would have just played through it, man? Little Bengay or whatever you throw on there, icy hot or whatever, you're fine. But because the connection to calf strains lead to calf tears that could lead to Achilles, if it's a strain, we shut you down just to make sure it doesn't get worse.
Well, I read a deal earlier. I read it to you. It was like injuries this year are up some 33% over this time 23-24. A lot of guys are injured this year, and I can't imagine it's the floor. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know of any other theory that makes any sense to me. That is possible. Maybe it's only the calf strain that's affecting, but a lot of guys are out. I did see a tweet earlier that it looks like LeBron James may make his season debut tonight for the Lakers.
On a Taco Tuesday.
On a Taco Tuesday, so we'll wait and see if that happens later tonight, see if LeBron is back or not. But a lot of injuries in the NBA, and it is very strange.
Although it's also so early. And granted, it's me. But I see a lot of these injuries, and I wonder if they're legit. Because how do you question a calf strain? All right, that's 3 weeks. It's November. And we know that all these guys, their goal is to be healthy in the playoffs. So if I've got to sit you down for 3 weeks and call it a calf strain, nobody questions it. After all the blowback with load management and when guys are going to rest and when they're not going to rest, because of all the data that they have, with everything that they wear, measuring everything that they do, is, it's calf strain, shut you down. Is it that? Is it just a way to where the NBA is not going to question or fine you for, resting a superstar player on the road? Like, Ja Morant could not have a DNP coach's decision for rest in a road game. That's against the rules, right? Wemby, when they're on the road, you're not supposed to do that, right? Calf strain, man, you're out 3 weeks. You can't question that. And it does feel like it's one of those injuries because there are no see-ums. It's like dude's hip injury the other night. Well, we couldn't find it on film. When did Wemby hurt his calf? There wasn't a specific play that said, oh, man, yeah, that looked like an injury. You see that with the turned ankle, an ankle sprain. You can see that with the shoulder. You can see a calf strain. Yeah, something doesn't feel right, Doc.
So you're wearing your tinfoil hat today. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean,
the only I would question that is if they do keep Wemby out 3 weeks. How many games is that? 10?
Yeah.
If he wants to be MVP or Defensive Player of the Year, that could put a strain in that, especially if something comes up. If you're going to say it's that and he's out 2 weeks at least, and then possibly more, I mean, a guy like Ja Morant may not give a damn. But Victor Wembanyama does.
He does, and that's a fair rebuttal. It's just odd to me that throughout the NBA, and with Wemby, do I think that he's trying to cheat the system? No. With the Spurs, yes. But you look around at all these other guys, like why is calf strain? I just go back when none of us knew what plantar fasciitis was, and we thought the doc with the Spurs was making up words for Tim Duncan. Well, it turns out that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But again, now is calf strain this year's plantar fasciitis? Because how do you question it? Yeah, my foot hurts. All right, well, sit down.
I don't know. He did have an MRI, and I don't know if you can see that on an MRI or not. But
it's not
at least
torn.
the Spurs, that it's not that, but it is a strain. There's something there. I mean, look, Wemby obviously says, "Hey, I feel something there," and so it's got to be something. So who knows? We'll continue to to watch that. We'll talk more Spurs coming up. But coming up next here on the Blitz, Indy Kalu. He's going to join us next when we continue on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down!
It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle.
And you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right.
Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right. Only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This Sunday, San Antonio Sports Stars at Twin Peaks Days of Allah location for Cowboys and Eagles. Come register to win epic Cowboys jerseys just for catching game days at Twin Peaks. Plus, I'll have your chance to register to win tickets to go see UTSA and Army November 29th in the Alamo Dome. So come hang out with us in the lovely lays of Twin Peaks this Sunday starting at noon. Grab a seat, register and win tickets to UTSA Army, and grab a frosty 29-degree cold beer just before the Cowboys kick off. That's this Sunday starting at noon at Twin Peaks Days of Allah.
How's the heating and AC at your house? If you've got any issues, you've got to call Right Home Services. Veteran owned and operated, they've been serving San Antonio for more than 45 years now. They're certified, background checked, and highly trained professionals. And right now, Right Home Services has a great special. This is for a whole home AC system replacement, $79.99 right now. The number's 210-444-0000, Right Home Services.
The right stuff. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hornitos Tequila and America's team have one major thing in common. Everyone can enjoy them. They weren't made just to have a few fans, but to gather people who love high-quality, real Texas football and premium fresh-pressed agave tequila. It's for all our fans. Whether you live in Texas or not, or sip your Hornitos in a Paloma or straight, it's 100% agave tequila for 100% of Dallas Cowboys fans. Hornitos, the tequila de todos. Drink smart. Hornitos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume. 2025 Salsa Tequila Import Company, Chicago, Illinois.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Houston versus Buffalo on Thursday Night Football. And, of course, the Blitz will be at the best spot with our friends from Flight by Yingling. Pre-game with us at the Anchor Bar in 1604 near I-10 from 2 to 6. Then stick around and watch the game.
Flight will be on special, and you know they will have some great prizes, including those cool backpack coolers. That's this Thursday, the Blitz live at the Anchor Bar on 1604 at Military, leading up to Houston against Buffalo.
Houston against Buffalo coming up this Thursday night. We already know that C.J. Stroud will not play in that game. Still in concussion protocol. D'Amico Ryans ruled him out. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix.
Let's talk some Texans and really NFL with our good friend Indy Kalu, the San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer, who joins us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Before we get into that thrilling win over the Tennessee Titans, I've got a straight-up NFL question for you, Indy. How's your Tuesday, man?
Oh, my Tuesday's going very well. It's better now that I'm on with my San Antonio crew.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
So out of curiosity, last night, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, soft benching, whatever you want to call it, did not start the game. They did not play the first series. I am curious, though, if they pick up a first down, do they get into the game? And CeeDee Lamb said, I'm not getting into it. George Pickens lied. He said it was a personnel decision that, they weren't needed since they were going to run. Jerry said it was a late issue, and Schotty said they missed a meeting or something along those lines. Whatever. When you, as an NFL player, and you're a starter and you don't start, you miss a series. What does that actually do? What does that mean? Is that just ego, a public spanking? I mean, really, punishment with no teeth? How would you take it as a player? You're a starter and you have to miss the first series.
Like you said, punishment with no teeth, and not just the guys who are being quote unquote punished, and I'm using that term very loosely. The rest of the team, they just roll their eyes. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make an example out of you guys. You're not starting the first series.
Exactly.
Okay. Like that's just it's a joke of a punishment. Either, and I have no idea what happened. I'm not saying they should have been punished a little more severely or what. But my point is, if that's your quote unquote punishment, then just say we're not going to punish them. Just say what it is. These two guys are too important. I'm on the hot seat, and they can do things that other guys can't do. I've actually had head coaches say, look, a star, filling the position is going to be treated differently than the 53rd guy on the roster. Whether you like it or love it, that's the world we live in. So I would rather them have just not punished them, because that's a joke of a punishment.
Well, and I agree with that completely, Indy. And couldn't you have handled that in the locker room? I mean, if they did something wrong, you'd say, all right, you guys are, I don't know, you do it again, we're going to fine you, or whatever the case is. I just think, and I like Brian Schottenheimer, but I just think he went out there, you see these two guys standing there, and that was about, oh, boy, that's very Jimmy Johnson-like. Oh. And I'm like, why? I mean, it was nothing. And so to me, it was just kind of a showboat thing.
No, it was. I mean, George Pickens had over 140 yards and a touchdown. Like, if that's a punishment, punish me every week, because it's just like you said, it's just showboating. And it's funny, we tend to forget because of the way we position or the way we view coaches. We think they're perfect. We think that they're robotic, that they don't have egos. I mean, coaches are some of the most egotistical guys, in the NFL. And he was probably just trying to say, hey, look at me. I'm not afraid to, punish these guys. If anything, it makes them look weak, and it makes the whole organization look a little disorganized, that you have these two guys that must have done something, to warrant a punishment, and that was the punishment that you're putting down. Like, you're gonna miss the first series or the first drive, whatever it was. That's just a joke.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. And I'm thinking, okay, they're in Vegas. So obviously I'm thinking they're either at a strip club, a casino, they were out late, whatever the case is, late for a meeting. But what other punishments are typical? Is it no dessert on the airplane, no meal on the airplane? Got to sit next to somebody with, somebody in between you? Or I mean, really, what kind of punishments are there if whatever they did wasn't a finable deal? And neither one of those guys, you can find them, they ain't going to miss it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've been around situations where a guy did something wrong, some kind of infraction. It didn't get out publicly, but he was hit with a huge fine. And the other players respected that. Like, oh, crap, I ain't trying to, lose $10,000, $20,000. And I know we say that, $20,000, $30,000 doesn't mean anything to these guys. It does. And, we talk about guys going broke. It's because of that mentality. I don't care how much money you're making. $40,000, $50,000 is a lot of money, especially when you're playing in a career, in a job, in an industry. The day you say that I'm done, the checks stop. They don't linger on for a few more years. They literally stop. If CeeDee Lamb goes out there and does something to where he cannot play anymore, the checks just stop right away. So, and when you punish people, it's not just to punish them for that act, but you also want to make sure that you're sending a message to everyone else around. Trust me, a lot of those guys aren't making CeeDee Lamb money. So even if it was a $50,000 fine, I know my cheap ass would have meant something to me. Like, oh, he was at the strip club too long and he got fined $50,000. Okay, I'm leaving the strip club 5 minutes earlier than I planned just to make sure. If I went, of course, I would have been at the church.
Of course, yes.
I would have been at the St. Philip's Episcopal Church.
Yeah, the Church of Stilettos. We got you.
Yeah, but so something like that would resonate, and you respect it more than sitting out the first series.
Yeah, that was kind of a joke. I totally agree with that. Tennessee Titans scared the hell out of the Texans last week, which is kind of sad a little bit. Although you got to give Davis Mills a little credit. He's 2-0 now with C.J. Stroud out.
I don't think Tennessee scared the Texans. The Texans scared the Texans up until the third quarter, because that Tennessee, their defense looked very good. Like I love the passion Tennessee's defense played with, but it was kind of like, all right, offense, like, when are we going to get things going? When are you going to pick it up? And, luckily they picked it up in the third quarter, and we saw some life out of the offense. But throughout that entire game, I wasn't thinking like, now, and I know what you meant. You're like, hey, they scared the Texans because they could have lost that game being down at halftime. But it was more, all right, Texas, when are you going to wake up? Because if you can't even beat or dominate the Tennessee Titans, even with the backup quarterback, what are we talking about here? Like, let's not even talk about playoffs until hopefully a big win against Buffalo.
Hopefully. You heard him say hopefully, not very confidently.
Yeah.
Indy, as we visit with Indy Kalu here on the Blitz, the end of that game, the Titans looked so dejected because they felt like they should have won that game, which makes me think they felt like they were the better team. And I think a lot of that might have to do with C.J. Stroud not there. But when you're a bad team and you look like you let one get away, what does that say about the other team, and in this case, the Houston Texans?
No, it lets you know that you're thought of, and you being the Houston Texans, as one of the lower tier teams this season. When you have a 1-9 team saying, God dog it, we should have beaten them, it's like, oh, wow. That's when you really got to do what Michael Jackson said and look at the man in the mirror. Like, what do you mean, you should have beat us? Like, we have aspirations to go into the playoffs. So it really makes you look in the mirror to see, how bad you really are. And it's unfortunate. As much as I like to talk trash, I also want to make sure I'm keeping it real. But right now, I don't know how many tiers you want to put the NFL in, but the way the Texans have played, the way they're playing, even with these wins that they're squeaking by, and I'm the first one to say a win is a win is a win in the NFL, but this just doesn't look like a playoff team, and that was the expectation. That was the battle cry before the season started.
And we'll certainly find out. That defense for Houston is going to get tested this week, I would assume. I mean, Buffalo put 40-plus on the board against Tampa Bay last week, albeit they were in Buffalo. But they come into Houston now, and C.J. Stroud's already been ruled out of this game. D'Amico Ryans said that today. So it will be Davis Mills again. When you know that that's the situation, ND, as a defensive guy, are you guys talking, look, we got to play our best game and give our offense a chance?
You say that every game, considering what's going on, but I think this defense, they're actually going to walk on the field with a smile on their face. Like, you know what, we love these type of challenges. Like, that's the mentality those guys have. There's no quit in them. They want to be tested by the best out there. Josh Allen is one of, if not arguably, the best, most athletic, well-rounded quarterback in the game right now. Like that team, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Azeez Al-Shire, Stingley, those guys are going to be walking like, man, this is the test we want. Tennessee Titans, people are going to point to Cam Ward being a rookie. He doesn't have a great offensive line. We were expected to do that. But if we can hold this team to 21 or lower or less points, I mean, that's going to really continue to play into the fact that the Houston Texans defense is one of the best in the league.
And they really are. And with this Buffalo offense, and I know it's Josh Allen, but you can question some of the weapons around him. And yeah, they scored 44 last week against Tampa Bay. They also scored 13 and they lost to Miami the game before that. Sometimes you just wonder which Buffalo team is going to show up, and sometimes it's hard to figure. But if I'm D'Amico and I'm a Texans defensive player, you got to play well enough and hope the offense has a shot and maybe even go score a touchdown. It might take that, and you have to have that mentality.
Sometimes, and you can take this negative or positive, sometimes when you have one side of the ball, especially when it's the defense playing well and carrying the team, you tend to have that mentality like, hey, I don't care what the offense is doing. It's almost like a tale of two teams. You go out there just saying, we just want to prove and continue to prove that we're one of the best defenses. So it's not this thought that we have to do this to help the offense or we have to do this and hope that the offense scores. Because I mentioned holding Buffalo to 21 points or less, like that's a good day. But who's confident that the Texans are going to score more than 21 points against Buffalo? Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. So at some point, especially defenses that have that pride, they just say, hey, regardless of what happens with the offense, we're just going to go out there and flex our muscle.
Indy, when you look at the Texans specifically right now, at this point in time of the season, and you're looking at a 5-5 record, you've got Indianapolis at 8-2, and then Jacksonville at 6-4. Is every game from this point on? I mean, I hate using the term must win, but I mean, you're looking at, you got to win the majority of what's left.
You hate using the term. I don't like using it, but I'm going to use it. Buffalo's a must win. Indianapolis Colts, you still have 2 games against them. It's a must win that you win both of them because I don't believe, I know mathematically there could be a wild card coming out of the AFC South, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're talking about, a 5-5 team having to win the AFC South when you have 2 teams ahead of you with pretty good records. No, I'm with you. It's a must win from a fan's point of view, because the reason I don't like using the term must win, if they lose against Buffalo, then what does that mean? Like, are y'all going to stop calling me on Tuesday? Like, are we not going to?
We'll call you. We just might not talk Texans.
Yeah. We'll talk Vegas strip clubs and which one's worth a $50,000 fine for the rest of the
Man, we know your levels of expertise, my friend.
I was going to say, win or lose, that should be the topic moving forward. But
can't hurt.
But all jokes aside, that's why I never really liked the whole must win, because if you don't win, you still have I don't even know where they are in the season, X amount of games left. So you still got to, play these next 6 weeks.
Well, and that's what it boils down to. And I'm just trying to figure out what kind of game should we expect. I mean, you think about the Denver game was, 18-15. The Jacksonville game, high scoring, kind of an ugly, weird game. But, 36 points, defense got a touchdown last week, 16-13. And with Davis Mills, I don't know what to expect of the offense. Hell, I wasn't sure what to expect when C.J. Stroud was there.
I just want to – I don't know what to expect either. And I wish I could sit up here and say, well, I was watching practice and there's a few wrinkles that they're throwing out there. But that's what I want to see. There was one game years ago when Bill O'Brien was here. 2 quarterbacks went down. They literally got Case Keenum from a hunting stand, and he ended up starting the week later. And they just did, and I'm not even a big Bill O'Brien fan, but that one particular game, they ran Wildcat with Arian Foster. They had a couple of trick plays, and it just kept the opposing defense on their toes, or on their heels, I should actually say, because they didn't know what to expect. And I think you have to do that. Like, you have to kind of get creative and I'm not saying have a bunch of gadget plays, but man, just open it up. Like, you don't have much to lose, because you could always say, oh, our backup quarterback's in the game, but just sitting out there and having this very basic offense with a basic backup quarterback, it's I don't think it's going to get the job done.
Well, and the schedule does get a little bit tougher. You mentioned a couple of games coming up with Indianapolis, so that will be a difficult test, and big games for Houston, obviously. I got to ask you, though, ND, because we've been kind of ragging on Jacksonville all year long. Did you see a 35-3 stomping coming?
Was it 35-3 or 35?
What?
35-6.
Whatever it was,
it
was an ass whooping.
Yeah. No, I did not see it, but any given Sunday, I mean, any given Sunday, you just don't know what's going to happen. Those guys have a lot of pride. There's actually a lot of talent on that team, and anytime you have these teams that are struggling, but you can look at them and say, man, that's a talented team. Trevor Lawrence hasn't lived up to the hype, but with Trevor Lawrence, I don't think you'll ever be surprised when he does show flashes and have a big game. So, no, I wasn't expecting it, but again, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen, and that's why you have to respect every win in every game. But also that's what makes the NFL so great, especially this year. I mean, if the three of us or the four of us, shout out to the producer, if the four of us said, okay, let's write down who's going to win the Super Bowl this year, I wouldn't be surprised if we had four different answers. If we had to pick right now, this Tuesday, who's going to win the Super Bowl, we might have four different answers.
Well, we would,
Very
definitely,
true.
because James Pledger, our great producer, would still pick the Houston Texans because he's delusional. Andy, watching Monday night last night, and you made your career in the NFL as a defensive lineman, and I know it was the Raiders. The Cowboys defense, that was the best they have looked all year. With the addition of Williams, even Wilson at linebacker, getting some guys back that have been out like Overshown from injury. What can Cowboy fans take from that defensive effort last night? Are they that improved, or was it was the Raiders?
I think they're improved. I mean, that defense looked good. When I was watching that game with Clark teaming up now with Quentin Williams, you can argue it's still early, but you can argue the best 1-2 interior punch, defensive line. Clowney, I saw Clowney, making some hustle plays that we saw in Houston from time to time. It was just one of those deals where I was thinking, man, if I was a Cowboy fan, I sure would have been like, I wish this, these trades and these moves would have been made 3-4 weeks ago, because similar to the Texans, it might be too little too late as far as getting into the playoffs. Now, the hope of the Cowboys, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the NFC East isn't, wow, am I really about to say the NFC East isn't as strong as the AFC South? But yeah, the NFC East isn't as strong as the AFC South, and I can see them climbing the ladder in their division a little easier than the Texans doing it. But I was very impressed with that defense. I'm impressed with the moves that were made, more so for next year. If he's able to keep all of those guys, and if they buy into, to the Cowboy way, and he's able to keep those defensive pickups, man, I think it can get very interesting and positive for the Cowboys right now.
All right, let me throw a wet blanket on real quick.
Here we go.
You got Philly this week. You got Kansas City on Thanksgiving. You got Detroit after that. You still as optimistic as you were?
If you beat Philly, and Philly is very beatable, Philly might be one of the most unimpressive 8-2, if I'm not mistaken, 8-2 teams in the league right now, and that's my squad. It's been 6 years there, but they just don't look good. They're 8-2, and they have a freaking their star wide receivers upset with what's going on. So they're beatable. They're beatable. And then who's after Kansas
City.
Yeah, they just lost to Denver. I know Denver's a good team. I'll tell you this. yes, I'm still excited, but as the Cowboys, and they're front runners, and what I mean by that, they're one of those teams where if they get on a little, Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, those type of players, if they get on some momentum, if they get on a little streak, man, they can ride high. They start believing if the Cowboys win these next two games, their fans in the organization, they'll be thinking that they're the best team in the NFL.
They're thinking it today, Indy.
Oh, stop.
They're thinking,
I mean, you say that. I mean, Brian Engel's a Cowboy fan, and Indy's like, Philly, it's my squad. Spent 6 years there, but, man, I wanted to star my own. But you're a Cowboy fan. You grew up here, man. You used to go shop at the Cowboy Pro Shop at Ingram Park Mall. Come on.
Yeah, I did. Look, I absolutely wanted. I literally had a Troy Aikman poster and Emmitt Smith on my wall over in Twin Creek, where I live, my neighborhood off Timber Hill by Ingram Park Mall. But that's dangerous. When you're actually talented, I mean, say what you want about Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George, they're talented. Now, if they walk onto the field thinking we're the blank, our blank don't smell, that spells trouble for your opponent. So if they can somehow figure out a way to beat the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, man, watch out.
We'll talk next week, Indy, and we'll see what happens.
Let's do it.
We all know what's going to happen, but, it's fun to talk about. Indy, have a great rest of your week, my friend.
Hey, y'all keep up the great work.
Good stuff. Indy Kalu on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Again, Houston and Buffalo Thursday night. Blitz is going to be live out at the Anchor Bar, getting you ready with our friends from Flight by Yinglings. Come hang out, 2 to 6.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. A lot of prizes. The Cowboys have just released linebacker Damone Clark.
What?
Gone. Done. He's out of there. So that just came across. They have just released Damone Clark. He is no longer a member of the Dallas Cowboys, at least as we stand right now. Let's talk a little college football when we come back, all right? Steve Sarkisian, he's crying. And Desmond Howard has a prediction. We'll see when the Blitz continues here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
6 for 6, and the Aggies have the lead.
Your home for Aggies football. KTFM Floresville.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Target brings more taste, more flavor, and more deals to your Thanksgiving table. Save big on affordable holiday crowd pleasers, like select elevated sides and appetizers from Good & Gather for only $4.99. Favorite day pies for a sweet finishing touch, also just $4.99. And don't forget, great tasting turkey for only 79 cents a pound. So many cravings, so many ways to save. Step into the holidays and elevate your Thanksgiving today. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
George Gets Justice. You've heard the national lawyer ads. Same story, different name. But when you've been through something traumatic in San Antonio, you need a local team who fights for real results. That's why so many get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. George is from here, listens to people, and fights to help them get their maximum compensation. Call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George Gets Justice. GetYours.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
Thanksgiving season is the best. That's right, Mr. Turkey. Everyone loves this time of year. Just like Connecticut water softener customers love their Connecticut. Definitely. A Connecticut water softener is the best in the business. Yes, it does keep your feathers soft. Yes, your waddle smooth. And your wings, nah, those things are pretty useless. A Connecticut is a much different water softener compared to the other brands. There's no computer, nothing to plug in, and it runs on kinetic energy. You said it.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. 0% interest for 12 months and $400 when you trade in your old water softener.
Mr. Turkey, you're pretty calm considering, you know. Well, on Thanksgiving, we eat turkey.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut. SA.com.
License number 38961. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Fans, this game's for you. UTSA is celebrating all the fantastic Roadrunners supporters at our Fansgiving game this Saturday, November 22nd, as UTSA football plays host to East Carolina at the Alamo Dome. Log on to goutsa.com/tickets or call the UTSA ticket office at 210-458-8872 to purchase your tickets today. UTSA versus East Carolina this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Be there, because when we win, San Antonio wins.
How's the heating and AC at your house? If you've got any issues, you've got to call Right Home Services. Veteran-owned and operated, they've been serving San Antonio for more than 45 years now. They're certified, background-checked, and highly trained professionals. And right now, Right Home Services has a great special. This is for a whole home AC system replacement, $79.99 right now. The number's 210-444-0000, Right Home Services.
The right stuff. San Antonio's Sports Center.
We've got an injury update from your San Antonio Spurs. They announced today that Stephon Castle underwent an MRI yesterday, revealed he has a left hip flexor strain. Injury occurred in the first half of Sunday's game against the Sacramento Kings. In addition to that, Jordan McLaughlin underwent an MRI yesterday that revealed he has a right hamstring strain. The team will provide updates on both Castle and McLaughlin as appropriate.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On a Tuesday afternoon, some people call these Taco Tuesdays. I call them Reaction Tuesday, especially after the Cowboys play on Monday night. We appreciate you stopping by here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. That fine fellow over there is Jason Minix.
And we're in a windowless room here off Eisenhower Road. What the hell's going on out there? You know, about 45 minutes or so ago, I got an alert from my alarm that power was out at the house.
Uh-oh.
Right? And a few minutes ago, it's weird, as I look at my recent calls, I got a call from CPS Energy that said power was out and it would be restored. It was one of those automated things, right? And then really right before Sports Center, got another call from CPS Energy, so just to be fun. Then it said it was restored. Check my cameras, and everything's working again. It looks beautiful outside, yet when I check the weather app, it says we're under a flood watch. All right? And these conditions are expected by midnight on Thursday, yet there's really not a lot of rain in the forecast, although Thursday there is some rain in the forecast.
Well, why are we getting a flood watch now
Well, you
if
can
we're not
prepare for it.
expecting it until Thursday?
Well, it's preparation, sir.
Okay. What am I going to do? Get out my umbrella? That's ridiculous.
Do you know where your umbrella is?
Well, I've got a golf umbrella in my golf bag.
All right.
I use that guy.
I mean, but now at least you know where it is. There are people
know
out
exactly
there that
where it
might
is.
not know where their umbrella's at.
Now, according to my app, we could see some rain as early as tomorrow. Then Thursday looks really bad. I get some clouds with the little lightning bolt symbol. Friday, rain. Saturday, rain. Sunday, rain.
I'm hunting this weekend. That'll be fun.
That's going to suck.
Ah.
You don't care?
Not really.
So the animals don't go inside when it rains?
No.
Oh. All right, well, good for you.
We'll see.
That's hilarious. Interesting. I don't know why. The only thing I can think of, right, is it's either construction, they knocked out a power line, or some moron drove into a power line knocking that out, or something like that.
Well, because I guess I live near one of those fancy grids with a hospital or the fire department on it. We never lost power during Snowmageddon a few years ago. Now, I wasn't home. We were stuck on a beach in Florida. We couldn't get back. But remember when the whole city shut down, our house never lost power, our area, because we were told that, well, you got a fire department on your grid, you're good. Cool. So when I lose power now, I run to, well, what happened? Because that ain't normal for us to lose power.
Well.
But I love how they call and say, it'll be restored by 5:30, and 4 minutes later they call and said, you're good.
That is crazy.
I mean, and if you're CPS, I wonder how many people actually listen to those messages. They answer the phone. You know it's going to be automated, but it's 30 seconds before the automation starts talking.
Well, if your power's out and you're sitting there at home in a hot house, you're probably going to listen to that thing, and you're going to want to know the update. And
Sure.
You probably already called CPS a couple of times. You're at work. Your wife's at work, so nobody gives a damn at the moment.
Sure, but at that point, if you're going to send a call, why not just text?
Well, dude, I don't know how CPS works. You know, they prefer to talk to you. They like the personal touch, Minix.
That was personal. It's automation,
It's automated,
my friend.
but it was
There's nothing personal about it.
It was a nice voice. Very pleasant, very polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, text is just like, there's no love there.
No love in the automated voice either. Power is out at, and then the automation giving your address. Right? Yeah.
Well, it's back on now.
It's back on now.
So that's all that matters.
That's really all that matters.
So,
but beautiful outside, then you see your flash flood watch.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You think weather guys just do that to just get everybody nervous? They got to watch the news tonight. Yeah, those weather guys will do stuff like that.
Will they now?
They will. Just to throw it out there. It's kind of like clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see a headline's clickbait, and then you go on there, and it turns out to be nothing.
Yeah.
Here the weather guy said, hey, let's throw the flood watch thing on everybody's app.
There's a chance of rain. There's a chance of flood.
There's a chance. That's right. So oh, boy, you got to watch the news tonight. Can't miss that. We got to figure out what the hell's going on.
Now, Pledge is showing us a headline that makes no sense. Polar vortex to weaken I can't read that. It's too far away.
Unusually early.
There's a glare on the glass there.
Yeah, that's what it says. Unusually early.
The polar vortex?
That's what it says. So what does that mean, Pledge? Does that mean it's not going to be cold this winter? Does that mean it's going to be colder this winter? Is it an El Nino or a La Nina? We need some details there, Pledge.
I don't know, Bill Taylor. You tell me.
I don't know.
Is it truly El La Nina?
It's La Nina and El Nino.
Okay.
Depending on boy or girl.
Okay.
I'm telling you now. I don't know which is worse or what's colder or what the deal is, but I'm just saying.
A weak polar vortex just doesn't sound very good.
Well, I would hate to have a weak polar vortex. That wouldn't be good.
They got a shot for that.
To weaken unusually early. I don't know what that means. Huh. Well, we'll have to do some investigation during the break, I guess.
Not really.
I don't know. Maybe.
Move
on. College football. Steve Sarkisian yesterday said something that really just kind of
pissed
me off.
Yeah.
He really did.
Shocker.
And then Desmond Howard said something today that Chris Del Conte is refuting or making fun of, I guess is a better thing. And we're going to tell you what's wrong with college football right now. We got a great example. Whew. All of those things coming up when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. The Cowboys take on the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles at home. Pre-game at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim B. You like that? How about them Cowboys? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Last year, we bought over 54,000 cars from your friends and neighbors at GiveMeTheVin.com. Why did they sell us their cars? It's because you're worth more, and your car's worth more. I know that, and you know that. That's why I created GiveMeTheVin.com. It's the fastest and easiest way for you to sell your car for more money when it's time to sell. I'm sitting here waiting on the other end of GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm. How can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
This college football season, the Crunch Time Hero of the Week is brought to you by PorkRinds.com, the nation's premier hub for pork rind lovers everywhere. Each week, a college player will post on Instagram, and each share over a 2-week period equals a $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, which helps families who are dealing with DIPG, DMG, pediatric brain cancer. Giving back with the perfect snack to celebrate those big Crunch Time plays. Find your rind at PorkRinds.com or find Southern Recipe pork rinds at H-E-B.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Kohl's has 20% off gifts that are so good, your family might think you read their minds. Check off your list now with cozy, thoughtful, and stylish gifts that will make them say, oh, how did you know? Yep, with these presents from Kohl's, you're gonna leave them feeling impressed and convinced that you're a psychic. Shop Kohl's for an extra 20% off gifts that are the perfect fit. Select styles. Offer ends November 22nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The NBA is off to a great start, so are the Silver and Black. Jason Minix here from the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, and watching them makes it a lot more exciting when you're playing on Underdog. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties, the best place to get in on all the action, make your picks, and win money right now in Texas is on Underdog. I love playing the pick'em game. It's easy. You go higher or lower on player stats, points, rebounds, steals, and more. With Wemby, blocks need to always be in your business. What about Steph Castle? What about Dylan Harper? Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's a hump day on the Morning Huddle. No Wemby. How did the Spurs look?
And we start looking forward to the Eagles. So much to get into. Are the Cowboys ready? Can Saquon run it? Oh, and by the way, no Wemby. Is there going to be an equal? Hey, got to do it. Get here early, party.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
So much going on that we have to get into, but something has come up, and if you're just joining us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe, he's Jason. This is the Blitz. Before we went to the break, James Pledger gave us a headline talking about the polar vortex is going to weaken unusually sooner than normal, and we didn't know what that meant.
I still don't know what that means.
Well, I looked it up, but I think we have a weather authority on our phone lines at 656-3776, 656 ESPN.
Now, Pledge, does this dude have a name, or is he just the weather authority?
Weatherman Dan.
Weatherman Dan.
So it's not Steve Brown?
No.
Weatherman Dan, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Joe, Jeff, thank you for taking my call. Joe, one thing, I want you to take over my daughter. Since you were so good at raising daughters, I have 4 of my own.
Oh, good
and
luck.
I still have a 16-year-old that only gives me the car when she needs gas.
Yeah,
but,
dude, forget about it. I ain't doing that. So you're stuck.
All right. Well, I do remember calling in my prediction that the 32 degrees or 30 degrees will be here before Thanksgiving. That kind of happened, but not in San Antonio yet.
Uh-huh.
But I did say the Spurs would win 46, and y'all were like, whoa, that's a little too high. Now, I know that Wemby's doing his rest break now early in November. That's okay. They're still going to win 46. All right. Polar vortex. It means it's going to be colder for 4 or 5 days straight, and it makes it all the way down into Mexico. So the polar vortex means extreme cold weather for 4 to 5 days straight. It usually happens in February. Now, I have no idea where Pledge is getting the information from, but I haven't seen anything on it. So does that mean it's coming in December? Can y'all ask Pledge?
Well, look, all the headline said was that the polar vortex is expected to weaken sooner than usual. And so when I looked that up, basically what it means is a strong polar vortex means it contains the cold air. If it gets weak, it lets the cold air out. I mean, does that make sense?
So that means it's going to break off and come into town earlier, which could mean a colder December.
Okay.
I predicted a colder November. So
you're just like every other weather,
I'm
man.
still
You're
wearing
wrong.
shorts, man.
Yeah.
You're fantastic.
You fit right in with every other weatherman, Dan.
Hey, they make money for getting it wrong. That's good.
Well, they do. And you don't get anything, but you get on the air and we make fun of you. That's it.
There you go.
Go put gas in your kid's car, man. Be a good dad.
Yeah, be a good dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks for calling.
Absolutely. Well, and again, when it gets cold here, and it will, and it might this week, and as Josh Jimenez points out, nobody called you, Joe, on I was going to let it go. do the animals go inside when it's raining? Like there's a community center
Well, I don't
for the
know.
wild animals.
Maybe.
Yes.
It could happen. They get under the tree or go in their cave. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible. So
do they go inside? No, the hunters might. Where we'll be out by the fire.
Well, sure. I just wanted to clear that polar vortex thing up, so appreciate Weatherman Dan calling. And it's just going to be colder sooner than it normally would. But it's taken a while because typically we have something that happens about this time of year, don't we?
It's cooler. I am surprised, and I will take every day of shorts weather that I can get.
Sure.
That I'm still wearing shorts, right? Now, hunting trip, am I thrilled that it's going to rain? No. But it's not. It doesn't look like it's going to be stupid cold. You get into playoff time, and there are games where, for high school football playoffs, some of those games, it's just nasty cold. I mean,
what I'm talking
we've
about.
all seen it. We're not dealing with that yet. Now, second round of the playoffs in high school this week, looks like there could be a lot of rain games. And I think Smithson Valley might be the only one playing in the Alamo Dome this weekend. And UTSA on Saturday, they're playing in the Dome. I think Smithson Valley's got the Dome booked on Friday night. Everybody else, they're outside in the rain.
Well, lucky them. Yeah, for sure. Well, it could be some late-night football games then if there's lightning accompanying that. Could be some late-night stuff.
Say that out
well,
loud.
You never know. You're not calling games. What do you care?
Well, that's true. I'll be out hunting.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, by the time it's dark and lightning, I'll be drinking.
Exactly.
That's the best part of hunting camp.
Yeah. You'll be just fine, Minix.
I'll be just
You'll
fine.
be just fine.
I'll be just fine.
I'm not sure,
You do
but
sound like a real weatherman.
I
Fred
do,
said
don't
that.
I?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little scary.
Maybe I need.
Don't tell Bill Taylor you actually paid attention to him.
I need to have a weather segment. If Ken's 5 won't come through, maybe, I don't know, News 4, KSAT, who knows?
What about us? You can go over to KTSA.
I could go over to KTSA.
You can do weather here every day, 30 minutes at 7:03.
I'll record it and Pledge can play it. How about that?
What if something changes?
Well, that's
you know
too
how
bad
weather
then.
is.
Yeah, nobody's listening for weather.
I went
show.
from a power outage to having power in one segment.
It's been a weird day, hasn't it? See, the Cowboys win and strange stuff starts happening. It's like the apocalypse.
Ain't nothing stranger, although I'm going to say this and know that I'm half-ass joking. I saw some video today of something that happened at Yellowstone. I was rooting for the Wolves.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Well, when you get somebody that's just moronic like that.
There's video of a guy at Yellowstone National Park that got out and started walking towards a pack of wolves. And he got really close to him. The video, and I kept waiting for, this ain't going to end well. This is not. He sprayed him with bear spray. And he got away. He still is with us. Part of me was really rooting for the Wolves. Remember when I was up in Wyoming in Jackson, and we went to Yellowstone, but driving from where we were staying out to Yellowstone, we saw these buffalo. And safely, we were in the car, never got out of the car. We were on the road. They were in the field, and you watched them for a little while.
Sure.
But people would stop and get out and, go over the fence and get in, and kind of rooting for the buffalo there. And then I'm starting to video them, waiting to see what was going to happen. There's idiots out there. Don't get out of your car.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, this dude, the wolf was like from me to you.
Yeah.
It was like right there. So, yeah, at that point in time, I'm rooting for the wolf.
I mean, I know that sounds bad.
I don't care what it sounds like.
I don't know. What are you thinking, dude? And he did it, and he got away with it, so you know he's going to do it again.
I'm sure he will, but then he's going to run into a wolf that's pissed off and not going to be as nice. So, I don't understand people like that, Minix. I really don't. Nature is nature, and it's not like your dog at home. They may look cute, but they have a bite.
You think I'm an idiot?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a guy. CBS has it on video. Like, what the?
I mean,
Should I feel bad for rooting for the wolf?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I wish the wolf would have done something, but I mean, he's like, dude, this guy's crazy. He must have rabies or something. That's what the wolf was thinking. Had to have been. Nobody gets this close to us. Nobody. the hell, man?
Go Wolves.
Go Wolves. That is for sure. I've been teasing Sark for the last two segments. You want to get into that, or you want to wait till the next segment?
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
Let's do it in the next segment
we'll
and give
do
some
that.
stuff away.
Why don't
we got a lot of stuff to give away.
We actually do.
Yeah.
Black Label Society. Now, it says with Zach Sabbath and Dark Chapel, live February 27th at the Boeing Center at Techport.
Good heavy metal show.
We have got a pair of tickets to give away. And, of course, if you don't get your tickets here, you don't win them. You can certainly buy them at livenation.com. Have you seen Black Label Society?
No.
How about Zach Sabbath?
Yes.
You've seen them?
I think so, yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah, I think so. If it's who I think it is.
Dark Chapel?
No.
You haven't seen them either?
No.
You going to the show?
When is it?
February 27th at the Boeing Center at Techport.
Maybe. When am I going to Phoenix?
Well, you can't win these tickets, so if you go, you're going to have to buy them at livenation.com.
No problem.
Okay, so you'll have to do that. But whoever calls in right now at 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN, caller number
9.
You're going to win a pair of tickets to go see all of those people. Black Label Society, Zach Sabbath, Dark Chapel. Good luck to you. And I promise when we come back,
maybe
Steve Sarkisian is crying.
Oh, stop.
But he is.
Yeah.
He's crying. He's making excuses.
He's speaking his truth.
His truth. My gosh.
Caller 9.
Yeah, and it's Lane Kiffin going anywhere. College football segment next here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, and strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
Hi, this is Sarah at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
I've always dreamed of a beautiful kitchen, but my wife just wants to stay organized.
You know what they say about opposites?
That they can't agree on a kitchen?
Well, IKEA kitchens come in many styles with a variety of customizable organizers. So maybe you're not opposites at all.
Beautiful and organized. Now we just have to figure out what to eat.
That's a different department. Get the kitchen of your dreams at a price you didn't dream possible at IKEA.US/dreamkitchen. Dream the possibilities.
Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
This Sunday, San Antonio Sports Stars at Twin Peaks Days of Alla location for Cowboys and Eagles. Come register to win epic Cowboys jerseys just for catching game days at Twin Peaks. Plus, I'll have your chance to register to win tickets to go see UTSA and Army November 29th in the Alamo Dome. So come hang out with us in the lovely lays of Twin Peaks this Sunday starting at noon. Grab a seat, register and win tickets to UTSA Army, and grab a frosty 29-degree cold beer just before the Cowboys kick off. That's this Sunday starting at noon at Twin Peaks Days of Alla.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
How about them Cowboys? We rise as one in Texas, sporting handed-down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam and lemonade on game day together because people are good for you, especially for us in Cowboys country. Presented by Jim Beam, bringing fans together across Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
And be sure and join the Blitz tomorrow at a Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit. In fact, it's all day tomorrow. The Morning Huddle's going to be live out there, 6 to 10. The Blitz will be live from 2 to 6. Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit in shirts. You bring your dog with you or your cat with you or your four-legged friend. There's lots of festivities. Both shows are live. Come on out to Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit. And then, Jason, we're out at the Anchor Bar on Thursday.
Yeah, our friends from Fly by Yingling pre-gaming for Houston against Buffalo on Thursday night football. So tomorrow we'll be up near Shirts for a tailgate party for your dogs, all kinds of stuff going on for your dogs. And then we'll be on the other side of town on Thursday.
Tailgate party for humans.
Yes.
Flight by Yingling with our friends there. We also have a poll up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, by the way, in case you have not participated. It says, after last night's performance, are the Cowboys a playoff team in your eyes? 66% say no. 34% say yes.
So 34% of our audience is delusional.
Well, and they're all Cowboy fans, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, you look at, now, math is difficult. This morning on Get Up, I saw that the win last night gives the Cowboys a 7% chance of making the postseason. Now, I'm seeing on Twitter it's 14%. But you're saying there's a chance.
So it went up from 7 to 14% in an afternoon.
Somebody's math is different. Math is difficult. We know that.
It is.
But they've got more than a none % chance. Realistically, none. But whatever chance they had did stay alive last night with that win. You know, it's like talking about the Longhorns. Preseason number 1. Lose their opener. lose last week to Georgia. Somehow they still have a chance at getting into the playoffs if they win out, right?
If they win out.
But preseason number one is preseason number one. Now there's still a chance, but this year has been disappointing. As a Longhorn fan, this has been disappointing. Well, Steve Sarkisian was asked yesterday about his underachieving Longhorns.
Steve, what would you say the main reasons are this team is underachieved?
According to who?
Well, when you're preseason number one, I think most people would agree 3 losses is not achieving what you are capable of.
I mean, I guess that's into who voted us number one, okay? What I think is that this team has competed their tail off. They've been faced with a lot of different adversity and injuries, and a lot of stuff has come across this team's plate. And I'm very, very proud of them with their resiliency.
What was that?
You know, at the end of the day, at the University of Texas, we're held to a very high standard.
Baby crying.
And the standard is to compete for championships year in and year out. And we're going to play the best teams in the country. We're going to schedule the best teams in the country. But by the end of the season, we'll play, of our 12 regular season opponents, 5 of those teams will be top 10 teams when we played them, so nearly half our schedule. And we have an opportunity at the end of the regular season to do something that nobody's done since 2019, and that's beat 3 top 10 ranked teams in the regular season. The last team to do that was LSU with Joe Burrow. So have we been faced with a pretty difficult schedule? Have we been faced with high expectations? Sure, but that's why we came here. So we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bad example because if I'm not mistaken, that Joe Burrow team won a national championship.
Well, they did.
So I'm just saying, he needs to come up with a different example.
Well, I mean, the last time that happened, although I believe, now, Pledge, will you look up, they were undefeated, right? They didn't have a loss, let alone 2, let alone 3.
Beat Texas in Texas.
Huh.
I didn't ask for all those details. I just asked for the win-loss record. I mean, but that was the last time. So to your point, now, this year's team could still win a national championship.
Sure, and I could, play for the Lakers next month.
I mean, you can score as many as
Ronnie
Ronnie.
has earned it.
Right?
Exactly.
But the reality is, I mean, that was we need baby crying sound effects because Ryan Eagle just doing it doesn't cut it.
I'm serious, Steve. I mean, that was terrible. I'm sorry you have a tough schedule. I'm sorry you were voted preseason number one. I'm sorry you've had injuries. Wah, wah, wah. So is everybody else. And you know what? They don't cry about it, and it's just the way that it is.
What do you expect them to say, though?
Well, I don't expect them to make excuses.
Well,
I would have agreed, yeah, it's been a disappointing season. We're pissed off. I'm disappointed. We expected to play better than this. There are no excuses. That's what I expect them to say.
So his boss gave him a tough schedule, huh?
Apparently, and they can't handle it.
Well, they haven't yet.
Well,
but I mean, it's been a really tough schedule, Joe.
Sure, okay.
I mean, do you need him to go over the resume one more time?
Boy, that UTEP game, that was tough.
They won that one.
Yeah, they did. What were the 3 cupcakes that they had right after Ohio State?
Sam Houston.
Yeah, there was another one. Tough, boy, I tell you. Stop it, dude. It's a disappointing season, no matter how you slice it. And they got Arkansas coming up this week.
Upset alert.
There's going to be no gimme and then they've got to welcome in the only undefeated team in the SEC. That would be the Texas A&M Aggies.
It won't be an easy finish for sure. The question is, or is it a question? Now, is this Sark's last year in Austin? I would not think that the dude is on the hot seat. There are days, not today, that he seems happy in Austin. But also, I don't think Desmond Howard does this without having a reliable little birdie whispering things into his ear.
I'm here taking out this garbage. Had a couple of thoughts. One is, man, I miss the Twins. But as I'm walking past this tennis ball in my yard, I was also thinking, don't be surprised if that Texas job opens up at the end of the season. You guys were shocked when LSU opened up. Imagine how you're going to feel if that job in Austin pops open. I'm not calling or saying anyone's going to get fired. Maybe a mutual parting of ways. You dig?
You dig?
So how did a tennis ball remind him of the opening at the University of Texas? I'm not sure about that, but
what's this doing out here? Yeah. Why am I taking out the trash?
Exactly.
Right?
There's that too.
And making a video. But again, that's not something you normally see from Desmond Howard. Now, because he does that, and game day and everything that he's a part of, and because he generally doesn't do stuff like that, it did raise a lot of eyebrows. What is he hearing? Who is he hearing it from? Chris Del Conte responded to the tweet and said, "This is news to me. Thanks for the insight."
Little sarcasm in that tweet, I think. But
you think?
But interesting. It really is. And look, there were the rumors earlier in the season that Sark was being courted by some NFL teams.
Well, that he was, or looking for some NFL jobs. And and so are those getting serious? You wonder with some of these guys, and you think about what Sark said. That's why we came here. Is it? I mean, to a degree, it is. And when you're winning, it's easy to say that. Ask Kirby Smart. When you're winning, you can say things like that. But with what's going on in college football today, with the amount of players getting paid and what they are getting paid in the portal and the constant recruiting, I do think a lot more coaches are going to have a better quality of life in the National Football League. And at the very least, a longer career. I think coaches that are a little bit older, do they really, really want to be a part of college athletics the way it is today? Or go coach football? I mean, Chip Kelly is making $6 million a year to be the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, right?
They're awful.
And they're awful. He doesn't have to go recruit. He does football. And in the offseason, he does off-season things. He's got a better quality of life, and he's still making $6 million a year, at least right now. I don't know how long that will last, but he's not having to deal with stuff that you would have to deal with at the college level.
Dude should have been fired after last night. It would have been a great time to fire that dude. I don't think Pete Carroll's long for there. They got to, not talking Raiders, but they got to do something to shake that thing up. But you make a good point. When Sarkisian, would it really surprise you if at the end of the season they said, well, we've mutually decided. Now, Sarkisian's got a hell of a buyout. So firing him is not feasible if you're Texas, although they have a lot of money. If he were to quit or take another job, he would owe Texas $10 million.
Which, again, could they I saw James Franklin negotiate his buyout with Penn State from $54 million to $9 million as he gets hired at Virginia Tech. And then, of course, you've got Lane Kiffin, who everybody seems to want. Could it be Florida? Could it be LSU? Could it be the New York Giants and reunite them with a Jackson Dart? Now, he did an interview today. Said, there's so much BS out there. He loves it at Ole Miss.
Of course he does. Of course he does. But they've given him a time deadline. Reportedly, he claims that they haven't.
Yes.
But everybody else is reporting that he's on a deadline, and Ole Miss wants to know what he's going to do. I don't blame him for that. And that makes perfect sense for me. They're hearing these rumors, too. And they say, look, if you're thinking about leaving, you need to let us know. I mean, his family just went and toured Gainesville and Baton Rouge.
Again, but if you're Ole Miss, are they doing what you kind of hope more of these college programs do? We're paying you a boatload of money, and you've got a long contract. If you're leaving, let us know. Now, A&M, they said, I heard some rumors about Mike Elko. They gave him an extension. We haven't heard Ole Miss talking to Lane Kiffin about a raise and an extension, which I find interesting. We've heard about a deadline. You guys, you need to let us know. Which you wonder at what point what university is going to draw the line in the sand when it comes to either you've got a contract. It's not at a point where we're going to renegotiate and give you a raise. But if you're leaving, let us know because we got to go find our next. Versus A&M, oh, you're having a great year. Oh, somebody said they wanted you. Here's a new contract, Mr. Elko.
Yeah. Look, and people probably would have been calling him, or they heard rumors that somebody would. And what he's done with Texas A&M is fantastic, and that's part of the reason you look at a guy like Steve Sarkisian. What has he been there 5 years now? And everybody keeps telling me, I even got a guy right now, JGR on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. Okay, Joe, let's who are the last Texas teams have been in the Final Four the last 2 years? I'll start Texas. That's great. If that's good enough for you, then fantastic. Is that the pinnacle that you want? Then you come into this season with high expectations. You're number one in the country, and you may not even make the playoffs, for goodness sake, and there's a good chance you're going to end up with 4 losses.
But do you fire the coach that has been in the playoffs twice? Is that good enough? The answer is no. But you are competing for a championship almost every year. The last 2 years they were in the playoff. They're competing for a championship. This year, not likely, but there's still a chance at it, and it's an off year.
An off year? They were number one in the country to start the season.
Which is, we all agree preseason polls are dumb, especially in the portal era. But when you look at Arch Manning, Heisman candidate, a playoff team the last 2 years, it's possible. Now, you also have to look at if Sark leaves, Arch likely hits the portal.
Does he?
Said likely. I mean, he came to Austin to be coached up by Sark, right?
Well, that's worked out well, hasn't it?
I mean, it is what it is, right? But you also look at LSU is going to have a new coach. They're likely to get a new quarterback. Now, right now, odds-on favorite to being that quarterback is Sam Leavitt, who came back to Arizona State, was having a great year, got hurt. Has another year of eligibility. Reports today that Sam Leavitt is his return to Arizona State doubtful because his team is shopping him at a very high rate. So he's looking for the highest bidder type money. Or in LSU seems to be one. Now, granted, Jaden Daniels left Arizona State, went to LSU. Sam Leavitt, is he going to follow suit? And I find it ironic yesterday that Kenny Dillingham went on a 2-minute rant about how local businesses in Phoenix need to do more to step up to try to, get more for their players. And then you find out the next day that Sam Leavitt is open for business and looking to leave. One didn't happen because, he knew that. And he knew there wasn't enough NIL money right now to keep his quarterback and some of the other players. So he went on this rant about how restaurants should have food items named after players. And, we don't need the guy donating $10 million. We need every restaurant and bar to get with a player and 500 here and 1,000 there, and that's all doable. He's, in a lot of ways, what we hear from Jeff Traylor, it's not just at a small school like UTSA, it's at a big school like Arizona State. Very few have the money coming in like a Texas A&M, or Cody Campbell at Texas Tech.
Well, and it is eye-opening, and that Jeff Traylor is not the only one. And when you hear guys like Ryan Wingo are making $750,000, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is unbelievable. And that's the other thing. When you talk about teams not or underperforming, I think the coaches have a shorter leash. And getting to the Final Four in the playoffs 2 years in a row just is not good enough anymore. I mean, when do these guys from Texas with the deep pocket say, look, when are you going to get over the hump? And now you get in the playoffs 2 years in a row, and then you come out, you're the number one team in the country. You got the Arch Manning as your quarterback, and now you may not even make the playoffs. And if I had to sit here and predict right now, they're not going to.
They're not. And that would be classified, despite the competition, Steve Sarkisian, a disappointing year. But does that mean you move on from that coach? But what the other part of it, and I think you're seeing this from the Arizona State coach, and obviously with Erica there, I follow Arizona State a lot closer than I did a couple of years ago. But Arizona State last year with Sam Leavitt and Cam Scadaboo, they won the Big 12 and they made the playoffs. And they had a lot of money coming in. This year hasn't been as strong. And you wonder if some of those boosters are those that were writing checks. And I don't know if it's happening at UTSA as well, but, with a 5-5 season right now, is it more difficult for some of these people to write those checks than it was when you were winning championships? When you're winning, it's a lot easier to get everybody excited and write a check. I got to believe it's more difficult to raise money right now, unless your spew is, well, to get better players, we need more money. But at some point, those people that are writing those checks are going to get tired of writing those checks if you're not winning championships. And that is what I think Steve Sarkisian is facing big time in Austin right now.
It has to be, right? I mean, when you look at that Texas team, and let's just look at that specifically, their offensive line has not been good. It's gotten better as the season's gone on. And Arch Manning's got nobody to throw to. We talked about Wingo, and that guy's been he's been a disappointment to say the least. They do have some guys coming up, but I mean, you don't have the skilled players in Austin that you used to have. Now, whose fault is that? That's
recruiting.
Squarely on Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a guy, everybody thought, well, Arch Manning's coming in, that's going to solve every problem. And no, he wasn't good. He's gotten better, but he's got nobody to throw the football to. And when he does throw the football to them, they've got glass hands or mallets on their hands, and they can't catch.
Mallets?
Whatever.
I know.
You know what I'm talking
Almost
about.
Thanksgiving. Go butter.
So I'm just it just is that is on the coach in college football. Unfortunately, that's the way that it works. I wish I could say something different, but he did a piss-poor job of recruiting after he lost 12 players to the NFL last year.
You know, the recruiting and or the development. And because you look at that offensive line, remember when NIL started and you could pay these guys? Every scholarship offensive lineman was getting $50,000. Boom, right out of the gate.
Yep.
Right? And this year, they didn't bring in one offensive lineman from the portal. So they either misidentified the talent that they had or they failed to develop those guys. Maybe a little bit of both. I look at Oregon. Oregon brought in 3 offensive linemen because they knew – Dan Lanning knew that their offensive line wasn't good enough, and they went and got 3 guys.
Yep.
The fact that UT didn't bring in 1 is a bit of a surprise because it feels like UTSA, UT, if they need something, they need to go get a player, they can go get what they need. So they either didn't develop those guys or they misidentified what they had. You're right, they have gotten better, but early in the season, you know, and Arch hasn't been great, and I'm not making excuses for Arch,
he
but
hasn't.
He hasn't been great, but he also hasn't had a lot of time. And then you look at the Georgia game, the drops were just so costly. But we all look back at the quarterback. As a team, this Longhorn group has been disappointing, and Sark knows that. He can't say that. I get that. But he could have answered that question differently yesterday.
Yeah, it just sounded like a wine fest, and I don't mean the drink. He was
is
whining.
Austin, though.
You know, he was just whining, and I just don't understand that. You know, sometimes it's okay to just say, you know what, you're right. It's been a disappointing year. We should never have lost 3 games. We were fortunate to win a couple that we might have lost, and it's been a disappointing year. We can go finish strong, though, and we still have a chance. We got Arkansas and A&M. We've got a chance to make our mark still and improve on this thing. And instead of whining about how many injuries you have and how tough your schedule is, it just makes no sense. And I'm not a huge fan, obviously. Can you tell?
Well, not today.
Of Steve Sarkisian. Well, I never really have been. But I just think that was a really poor answer. Bob Ballou's going to join us tomorrow, our Longhorn insider, and I'm sure he'll take up for Sarkisian.
Here's the question I have, though. And you're going to see this at Penn State and some of the other places that already have openings, LSU. Who are you going to get that's better, right? I mean, Steve Sarkisian was a celebrated hire. Now, granted, think about what he was replacing, but his offensive mind and everything that he has done throughout his career, that was considered a home run hire. And he's been to the playoffs twice. He's failed to win a championship. But if you replace him, who are you going to get that is better? Who is going to
What's been the biggest problem on that Texas team this year? The offense. Steve Sarkisian, an offensive genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's failed this year. It's been a failure. I don't know if he's going to get fired or not, or if he's going to quit. I'm not sure. I don't know what.
Or should he, though?
I don't know what Desmond Howard knows or says.
But in 1 year, most years that he's been there.
He's been there 5 years now. 5 years.
And this is 1 year in which you go, man, you have failed. Yet they're still, with 2 games to go, have a chance at making it into the playoffs. But it hasn't been to the standard that he, as the leader of this team, has set for this program. And he said that. We haven't played up to our standard. But that does fall on him. But 1 year is that worthy of, all right, you've got to go?
So really, out of the 5, he's had 2 good years. Look at the schedule. Look at the record.
Well, I mean,
that's it.
Yeah, the first year wasn't good.
Well, neither was the second.
Better, but I know what you're saying.
Better, but
it got better and then it regressed. I mean, by what you're saying, though, do we apply the same standard to Jeff Traylor? Good, and a drop off.
Well, I think you're comparing apples and oranges. I mean, Texas has money. Steve Sarkisian can go get whatever he wants. Jeff Traylor can't.
Sure.
So, no, you can't compare the two like that. You just can't. Not in this day and age in college football. Steve Sarkisian went out and paid Jonathan Wingo $750,000. Boy, that was a genius move, was it not? Oh, my gosh. Charean Williams is going to join us at 5:15. We'll talk some Cowboys football then. But in the meantime, a lot of activity going on with the Spurs and a lot of injury report news coming out. We'll talk about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're having issues at your house with your plumbing or your AC, at some point you're going to need your heater. You call Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. They also have great maintenance programs, and if you haven't had your heater tuned up yet, do it before you need it. They can catch problems before they become major. Call Quartermoon, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
This is The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
By texting 24700, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from J. Crew Factory. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at jcrew.com.
At J.Crew Factory, we think shopping should be fun, really fun, as in scoring our exclusive collection of classic styles for the whole family at prices that can't be beat. And today, save even more. Just text GIFTING to 24700 to receive an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more at your nearest J.Crew Factory store. This holiday season, discover perfect presents for you and your crew. Shop cozy matching pajamas, toasty sweaters, amazing outerwear, festive accessories, and so much more. Get in the spirit at J.Crew Factory, where we have incredible deals every single day. Visit jcrewfactory.com to find your nearest San Antonio area store today. But first, get an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more when you text GIFTING to 24700. Text GIFTING to 24700 to get your $25 off coupon. That's GIFTING to 24700. See a store associate for details.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud back at practice today. He's still in concussion protocol. And according to his head coach, DeMeco Ryans, he will not play on Thursday against the Buffalo Bills. San Antonio Spurs return to action against the Grizzlies here in San Antonio tonight. Tip-off from the Frost Bank Center set for 7 o'clock. It will be televised on NBC and Peacock. Plenty of injury news for your San Antonio Spurs. We're talking about it when the Blitz continues next.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. And boy, if you're getting off work right now, because it is after 5 o'clock, your Tuesday's over. You're sliding right into hump day.
Almost.
Almost. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He's Jason Minix.
The Cowboys get a big win last night. With it, we've got a poll question up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. After last night's game, are the Cowboys a playoff team in your eyes?
The no's are winning.
As they should, 65%. They got a chance, and they look like a legit team yesterday. The reinforcements, the new guys, the healthy guys, that defense looked good last night. It's seemingly too little too late, though.
Well, it could be. They've got to win a bunch of games. What do they have, 7 games left? And you got to figure at least 5 or 6 of those have to be wins.
Well, and again, and when you look at what the Dallas Cowboys have coming up, the brutal part of their schedule is on the way. Philly this week, then Kansas City, Detroit. I don't really know what to make of Minnesota right now.
I'm not sure either.
The Chargers, I don't know what to make of those guys.
Jekyll and Hyde, man.
Washington, yeah. I mean, and New York. So conceivably, they could end on a 4-game win streak. If the team that played last night is playing Minnesota, and that game is in Dallas, the Chargers in Dallas, Washington and New York are on the road, those last 4 games are very winnable based on what we have seen to this point, and 2 of those being at home. Now, several weeks ago and even before the season, you looked at Minnesota and the Chargers and thought, no way. And Washington on the road, not likely. Now, that's different. Kansas City, the way they've been playing, it's not an automatic loss if the team that showed up last night shows up on Thanksgiving Day. Philly, are they beatable? Detroit, no chance.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Probably the toughest game on the schedule as you look at that. And fortunately for the Cowboys, when you look at that schedule, a lot of those games are at home. I mean, obviously you're getting Philly at home, you're getting Kansas City at home, you're getting the Chargers at home.
And the Vikings.
And the Vikings at home. So, I mean, it's certainly feasible that they could reel off the necessary number. Now, Eagle fan on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page says you got to have at least 10 wins. Well, there's 7 games left. That means you got to win 5 of them. And just based on how they played last night, if they can get that done consecutively or what's the word I'm looking for? If they can win 5 games, they got a shot. 5 of the next 7.
Well, and that would get them to 9 wins. And, we typically think 10 wins gets you into the playoffs, and that's not necessarily the case. They've got a 14% chance, according to Twitter, people doing math. But at the same time, they're now in the hunt, realistically. And when you look at that schedule, can they get to 8 or 9 wins? It is possible. Is it likely? No.
8 or 9 wins, it
probably doesn't get you in.
It's got to be 10, I think. Because what would that put you at 10, 6, and 1?
Well, they've got 4 wins now. They're 4. What are they? 4, 5, and 1.
4 wins. Okay, you're right. You're right.
Because in that tie, how will that factor in? And that becomes the $1 million question, right? But again, some of the teams that you're going to be battling to try to get in, who's going to fall off? I mean, if the playoffs started today, Detroit's not a playoff team. We all think that will likely change. You still have Chicago sitting up there at 7-3. So, again, is Chicago really going to win that division?
Well, I'm not sure. And if Aaron Rodgers plays, he owns Chicago. Or he certainly did when he was with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. I mean, again, not much of a chance, but they still give themselves a chance, and their schedule down the stretch. These next 3 are going to be brutal. It wasn't that long ago that we were thinking their final 6 are going to be brutal. The only one was that last game against New York, and at that point it was 1-2 Cancun for both of those teams.
Right.
Now you look at some of those other games, and you go, yeah, maybe if this team shows up and plays.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Washington is health-wise when it gets to that point in time. Because Terry McLaurin hasn't been playing. Obviously, Jaden Daniels hasn't either. So that will be it. Look, I have no faith in Minnesota. I think the Cowboys win that game. J.J. McCarthy is just not it as far as I'm concerned. Maybe he develops into it. I don't know. The Chargers, you don't know what team you're going to get. But you've got Harbaugh there, and I think that's always a wild card in my mind. So you never know. The only game that I can sit here and say that I think they're going to lose, I think they lose this week against Philly, and I think they lose in Detroit. Other than that, it could be a toss-up the rest of the way.
So you're saying a Thanksgiving Day win?
Well, the way Kansas City's been playing, they've got the Colts this week. Kansas City does.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game for them. They've got to win that one. They've got to win a bunch of games. I mean, let's face it, they're 3 games behind the Denver Broncos right now in that division. So
Kansas City's going to come into Thanksgiving with a must-win attitude.
They are going to do that. I think every game right now for Kansas City has got to be that attitude.
The reality is, I mean, again, playoff start today, Kansas City's not in. But I have a hard time believing that Patrick Mahomes won't make the playoffs. And if he does make the playoffs, then I'd have a hard time betting against him.
Yes. I would too, but you got to wonder about a team like Kansas City. They've been to the AFC Championship game I don't know how many times in a row.
Every year Mahomes has been the starting quarterback.
I mean, at some point in time, that fatigue has got to take its toll, I would think. Everybody thought Kansas City would get well when they got Rashid Rice back, and they've got but again, and look, you can't really blame them for a loss in Denver. Denver's defense is that good, and they handled them. But Kansas City now is in really desperation mode for the remainder of the season. That includes this week against Indy, and then, of course, Thanksgiving Day against Dallas. So, speaking of Dallas, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what they did last night and what Charean Williams thinks they will do moving forward. She joins us next as we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First of all, let me brag about my Connecticut quality water softener. Love this thing. Love this thing. I really do. In fact, I was just saying that to myself this morning, singing in the shower how great the water felt because of my Connecticut quality water softener. It really is a game changer. Look, I've lived in other houses that have had water softeners that aren't Connecticut's, and there is no comparison. There really is no comparison. This is head and shoulders above everything else there is on the market. It is the most popular water softener on the market. That ought to tell you something right there. And Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. All their products made right here in the good old U.S. of A. And I love the fact that it does not run on electricity. So obviously no impact to your electric bill, but it does provide soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And for a limited time, they say that it's been going on, so take advantage of it. A free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut quality water softener that the fine folks at Connecticut will install right there at your kitchen sink. What does that mean to you? It means bottled water, basically, right there at your kitchen sink. You don't have to buy bottled water anymore. Look at the money that's going to save you. Plus, they're going to give you free money. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. 0% interest for 12 months. It is one heck of a deal. Take advantage of it before the holidays get here and all your family and friends come into town. The numbers to call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to SASportsStar.com now and register to win. SASportsStar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hi. My name's Jason Thompson. I've been representing people injured in traffic collisions here in San Antonio for more than 30 years. After a collision, I've spoken to many people who wanted to believe that the other driver's insurance company would be fair and they really didn't need an attorney. They thought that the insurance company would pay their medical bills and do the right thing. I wish that were true, but trying to go it alone is a big, big mistake. If you have been injured, please know the other driver's insurance company has adjusters and attorneys working against your interest. If insurance companies were trying to get to heaven, I'd be out of a job, gladly. That is just not the world we live in, though. Call me as soon as you can if you are injured in a traffic collision. I do not charge anything to review your case with you. I'll tell you what you need to do and what you should not do. If you want a smart and fair result, you'll need to make smart decisions along the way. And that is what I do. You and I will make smart decisions for you and your family, and we'll get justice and fair results. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Target brings more taste, more flavor, and more deals to your Thanksgiving table. Save big on affordable holiday crowd pleasers, like select elevated sides and appetizers from Good & Gather for only $4.99. Favorite day pies for a sweet finishing touch, also just $4.99. And don't forget, great tasting turkey for only 79 cents a pound. So many cravings, so many ways to save. Step into the holidays and elevate your Thanksgiving today. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Need your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Brian Schottenheimer, good morning, Coach.
Hey, what's up, guys? I got to say, it was a weird transition for me to come on to the show and hear a bunch of moaning, and then I heard moaning and manning and all these things. It was really kind of weird. Edwin didn't prepare me for that.
Moaning? Coach, tell him. Can you tell the audience you've got no interest in drafting Arch Manning in the upcoming draft?
Brian Schottenheimer's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That sounds like Journey to me. So we had to give away some tickets. Not to Journey, but a band that sounds a lot like them called Eclipse.
Tribute band.
Tribute band. Your chance to win. They're coming here January 31st at the Aztec Theater. If you don't win the tickets, you can always get them at livenation.com. Caller number
9.
Caller number 9, 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN. Good luck to caller number 9. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. He's Jason.
And Cowboy fans, they're still believing after last night's game, although on a YouTube poll after last night's game, are the Cowboys a playoff team? 65% say no. Let's talk more about it. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. They looked better last night, although it was the Raiders. Is it too little too late?
It's close. They kept whatever slim hopes alive that they have. They kept those alive by beating the Raiders, doing what they needed to do. The real test will come, obviously, on Sunday. They got to put a streak together. And you look at that schedule, and it's tough. It's really tough to think that they're going to go through that schedule with only 2 losses the rest of the way, which – then that just gets you in the territory of maybe they get in. So really, to make sure you get in, you need 1 loss, and you've got Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers coming up. You figure they're going to beat Commanders, Giants the last 2 weeks. So you've got to get through those 5 games with 1 loss, potentially 2 losses. And again, that's a tall, tall task. Now, I realize the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs of the past few years. The Lions haven't played all that well in some of their games, and the Vikings have been kind of up and down, and the Chargers got killed by the Jaguars. That should give you hope that, when the season started and this came out, we're all talking, or even before when the schedule came out, we're all talking about this stretch of games like, oh, my Lord, this is a gauntlet. It doesn't look like as big of a gauntlet as it was when the schedule came out, because those teams at that point, you thought the Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, and Chargers were probably going to be better than they're playing right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And it did look more like a gauntlet then, for sure. Philadelphia coming up, obviously, it is a huge test, I think, simply because their defense is playing so well. But I'll be honest with you, Charean, offensively, the Eagles haven't looked so great lately.
No, they're struggling offensively, and there's no question about that. I mean, ask the Eagles, ask Eagles fans. They'll tell you the same thing. They're not the same team offensively that they were last year, and a lot of that is Saquon Barkley not running like he did last year. He has no chance to win Offensive Player of the Year this year, which he was the runaway winner, no pun intended, last year. So, that to me has been the biggest difference in that offense. And defenses have just loaded up saying, we're going to stop Saquon. if you can beat us with Jalen Hurts being a pocket quarterback and passing against us, we're going to stop the run. We're going to stop you, and we're going to stop Saquon Barkley from running. If you can just sit in the pocket and beat us, go for it. And I don't. They've still won their games, but they haven't done it in impressive fashion because the offense just hasn't been able to get over that hump and get the run game going or get the pass game going so they can get the run game going, however you want to phrase it. But they just haven't done that yet this year. Will they? We're going to find out. But I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl if the offense is playing the way it is right now.
Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The caveat, it was the Raiders, right? But
yeah,
the new additions on defense, and I know it was the Raiders, but not a lot of communication issues. You saw physicality. You saw guys making plays. Did the two new guys and then getting some of the healthy guys, did they make that kind of an impact? I know it was the Raiders, but is this defense that much better than what we've seen all year long, or was it was the Raiders?
It's better. It was the Raiders. It is better. Quinnen Williams, you saw what a difference he makes. And, yeah, the interior of the Raiders' offensive line wasn't good as it was. And then, they had an injury in there, a couple starters, and so they don't have the same offensive line that they do when they're healthy. I mean, their two best offensive linemen are on injured reserve, so that hurts. So it was the Raiders, but they definitely made out. Logan Wilson looks like he can't run that well anymore. I don't know that he made any difference whatsoever. I think he ended up with one tackle. But Quinnen Williams certainly makes a difference. I think having the safeties back, Overshown, with the snaps he got makes a difference, and he should get better and better as the season goes on. So, yeah, I think getting all those guys back, you had 6 different guys either coming back from injuries or new additions who helped you. So the defense is definitely better. We're going to find out how much better over this stretch of games when you're playing Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff. I'm not going to put J.J. McCarthy in that group, but then Justin Herbert and Jaden Daniels may be back too. Jackson Dart may be back too. So you got a stretch there of some quarterbacks who are among the best in the NFL. Can you do this against those types of quarterbacks? But I think the 9 sacks, I think it is, over the last 2 weeks are very encouraging. They're getting to the quarterback better. They're doing better against the run. Again, it was the Cardinals. It was the Raiders. But I do think the defense has gotten better from where they were 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, Charean, I think that defensive line has certainly improved. I noticed Kenny Clark was helped out by Williams on that defensive line, and I think that's going to be a factor moving forward. They were able to get pressure on Geno Smith last night. Obviously, you talked about the offensive line. The Eagles' offensive line, a little bit of a hiccup with Lane Johnson going out last week, so that may or may not help, but that offensive line is still pretty good. The question is, can they get some heat on Jalen Hurts, and if they do, can they keep him from escaping the pocket?
Well, and that's exactly it. I think you have to load up and stop the run first against them. Probably going to have a spy on Jalen Hurts. Whoever that is, whoever you're going to use as your spy, I think you've got to have one for Hurts to try to keep him contained. But that is the key, is getting, stopping the run, stopping Saquon first, and then, getting pressure on Jalen and keeping him in the pocket. I think if you can do that, which a lot of teams have been able to do that this year, if you can do that, then you're going to have success against their offense. And that's what teams have been able to do. And then you get A.J. Brown frustrated, which he has been most of the year. And then it's not a good thing for the Eagles. So, yeah, that's definitely the key is stopping that run, keeping Jalen Hurts from running all over you. And are they going to be able to contain those receivers? If he has time, he's going to be able to sit in the pocket and pick you apart. You saw that some last night when Geno Smith had time. He completed some long passes. They just weren't able to be consistent. They hit a big play, 20-plus yard play, and then they bogged down. I think they had 6 drives when they crossed midfield, so they were able to move the ball some. And then they bogged down and couldn't get it done, couldn't pick up first down, ended up putting or or kicking a field goal or whatever it was. So, the Eagles, they're going to be more consistent than that. And if you give Hurts the time in the pocket, those receivers are going to pick you apart.
Talking with the Pro Football Talk, Charean Williams here on the Blitz. Charean, the Cowboys offense finally looked like what we expected. Could have had 40, but CD dropped a would-be easy touchdown pass there late. Although CD and George Pickens, they were punished. They weren't allowed to start the game. They had to miss that first series. Boy, that was severe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked ugly there for 2 drives for the Cowboys, and those guys need to do what they need to do and be disciplined and do the right things. And but yeah, they came back and they really made an impact. Maybe they need to hold them out of the first drive every game. That's what I think. George Pickens looked like he was on a mission after he came back. It was pretty incredible. I do think there's a question about which receiver is your number one receiver, though. Is it Pickens or is it Lamb? Pickens has just played absolutely outstanding this year, and probably better than Lamb overall, I would say. He was great when Lamb was out those games, and I thought he was just the best receiver on the field last night.
We know that's interesting, Charean, because I know there was an article, or there certainly was before our show started, that we read that was talking about, can the Cowboys keep both, and will they have to make a decision? And it's an interesting topic and something to talk about, although C.D. Lamb just got a brand-new contract, but George Pickens is going to want one after this season, and I think that's one reason why I don't think we've seen any problems with him, and maybe that's all gone away, to be fair to him, but he is playing for a new contract, and he's going to get one somewhere.
He is, and it's a question of whether Dallas is going to give it to him or somebody else is going to give it to him. You figure they're going to franchise tag him if they can't come to a deal before the March deadline for the franchise tags. If they can't do that, then I would expect them to franchise tag him, but I can't see him playing on a tag. So are the Cowboys then going to pony out the amount of dollars, which is probably going to start at $30 million per season, to get him signed to a long-term deal? Are they going to be able and ready to do that? And, in the past, I would have said, hey, the Cowboys have never let anybody walk away who they really wanted to keep. And then, we saw, obviously, they wanted to keep Micah Parsons. Let's be for real on that, because they offered him a huge contract in March, April, in the spring. And so they did want to keep him, and then decided they couldn't afford him and sent him on his way. And it may turn out to be a very good trade for them. Who knows? They used, one of those picks to get Quentin Williams, who's, could end up being a great player, if he continues what he did last night. So it could be a win for him. We don't know that. We do know Micah made an impact on Sunday for the Packers. So we'll see how that trade plays out. But it is a question of whether they are going to be able to afford him, George Pickens, and whether they're going to be willing to afford him. And I think they can afford him. It's, are they willing to pay him what he is going to want? That's going to be the big question.
And Jerry did say on 105.3 The Fan today, although short answers, yes and yes, can you afford to pay 2 receivers and 2 defensive tackles that kind of money because of what you're getting with Williams and with Kenny Clark as part of that trade and keeping Pickens? What I found interesting is that Pro Football Talk article by Mike Florio suggesting that maybe you sign Pickens and try to trade away a C.D. Lamb, which I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't step into this because Mike is my boss. I honestly, I don't see that happening either. If they sign George Pickens, and now it could be eventually, maybe after 2026. I don't see it happening before 2026. I think if they sign George Pickens, they sign him with the intent to have both those receivers in 2026. I do think that the Bengals, and it's hard to judge the Bengals because the Bengals are so bad anyway with their front office management's awful, as we all know. So it's hard to compare anything. But the Bengals were able to sign both receivers to big deals, and then their defense has suffered severely because they put so much money into their offense with Burrow and those 2 receivers. So you can do it, and I think the Cowboys have to be creative with the ways to do it to be able to spend money on their defense, but they do have those 2 first-round draft picks, which are going to help. If you spend those on defensive players, you expect them to come in and contribute right away to your defense, which is going to help the defense if they step right in. And at least one of those is going to be an edge rusher. So, they could be okay because you're spending the minimal amount of money, but eventually there will be a decision to be made, whether it's 2027 or 20, I don't know how long, I haven't even looked at this contract, but probably after 2026, there's probably a decision to be made about, what do we do with CeeDee Lamb? What do we do with George Pickens? And at that point, Pickens would only be in his second year of his contract going into 2027. So it probably would be CeeDee Lamb. Let's trade him and get a bunch for him, see what we can get. So it could be a decision that they will have to face, but I don't think they're facing it before 2027. I think that's as soon as they will have to make a decision. And they had to do that with Amari Cooper, and they sent him on his way.
And, Charean, with George Pickens, and we could have another dramatic offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. That never happens.
Of course.
Never happens.
It's every year. Hey, what about Brandon Aubrey? You better get Brandon Aubrey signed.
And you got Tyler Smith coming up. So they've got some – yeah, they got some stuff to do.
They do.
They got lots of work.
Right now they just got to worry about Philadelphia. That's some of that other stuff will take care of itself. Make sure you follow Charean Williams on Twitter at NFL Charean, reader at ProFootballTalk.com. Charean, always appreciate it. We'll visit next week.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. The great Charean Williams here on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
Always good talking with Charean. She's always got some answers, and common sense is what I like about Charean. She's a fan, but yet she leaves her heart in the drawer while she's talking to us. That's kind of nice.
But as we're talking about these receiver contracts, because, you've got, a lot of money on the defensive line with Odigizua got paid this past offseason, Williams and Kenny Clark. You add in a George Pickens, and you're talking about in 27, CeeDee Lamb. Well, at some point, Dak's deal is going to be close to being up, and that dude ain't getting another contract from Jerry.
Really?
There's no way. At what point, if Jerry's still with us, does he say, okay, we've got to go find our next quarterback? I said it that this last contract probably shouldn't have gotten that, but the Cowboys never prepared for life without Dak Prescott. Now is Joe Milton that guy, and they're seeing him in practice. And, again, I know you can cringe right now and roll your eyes in your car and all that stuff, but at least they've got that guy in the building where they can see, could he be the next, or they need to go draft one or find one. I just can't see Dak Prescott getting another contract after this contract expires.
Well, I don't see that either, but Jerry loves Dak.
Well, Jerry at some point isn't going to be with us to make these decisions.
Well,
I love you, Dak.
Steven loves Dak.
Well, you just heard Charean Williams say, I've got to be careful, that's my boss.
Right.
Steven says the same thing.
Well, we shall see, my friend, and I have to admit, Dak Prescott is playing at a very high level this season and played a very good game last night. So, we'll see what happens once that contract decides or gets close to the end, what the Cowboys decide to do with their quarterback.
Although, if no Dak, then your quarterback isn't going to be making that much money. You could afford all those high-priced wide receivers.
You can. And if you've got a new quarterback coming in, it's nice to have high-quality wide receivers to help him out a little bit when that happens. So, lots happening, no doubt about it, including the Spurs play tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies inside the Frost Bank Center, a couple of banged-up teams. Spurs have an opportunity, though, to win their 10th game of the season. Can they get it done? We're talking Spurs basketball when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but maybe you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. It can restore your energy. So if you're over 40 and you notice that you're not motivated, you're tired, testosterone can and does help. Guys I know that go to Synergenics or Low T Center for TRT all say they wish they would have started sooner. What you need to do is go get tested. That test is free. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m., or you can book ahead at fixmylowt.com. Synergenics and Low T Center, they have clinics all over San Antonio, so there's a location that is close and convenient to you. You go to any one to receive care, or you can even get treated at home. It does start with a simple and quick test at the center where they have an on-site lab. So you take the TRT test, you get your results in about 20 minutes. You don't have to wait for days like at other places. And if you need treatment, you can even get started right away. With their new mobile app, it's even easier to meet with the provider through telehealth appointments. And it's not just for men. Synergenics and Low T Center have a long history of helping ladies find hormonal balance. So reignite your energy. You know the best version of you is waiting. Get back to feeling like yourself. Get into Synergenics or Low T Center for a free TRT test. Book that appointment right now. FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down!
It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right.
Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right. Only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Fans, this game's for you. UTSA is celebrating all the fantastic Roadrunners supporters at our Fansgiving game this Saturday, November 22nd, as UTSA football plays host to East Carolina at the Alamo Dome. Log on to goutsa.com/tickets or call the UTSA ticket office at 210-458-8872 to purchase your tickets today. UTSA versus East Carolina this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Be there, because when we win, San Antonio wins.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in Iraq, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
By texting 24700, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from J. Crew Factory. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at jcrew.com.
At J. Crew Factory, we think shopping should be fun, really fun, as in scoring our exclusive collection of classic styles for the whole family at prices that can't be beat. And today, save even more. Just text GIFTING to 24700 to receive an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more at your nearest J. Crew Factory store. This holiday season, discover perfect presents for you and your crew. Shop cozy matching pajamas, toasty sweaters, amazing outerwear, festive accessories, and so much more. Get in the spirit at J. Crew Factory, where we have incredible deals every single day. Visit jcrewfactory.com to find your nearest San Antonio area store today. But first, get an extra $25 off your purchase of $75 or more when you text GIFTING to 24700. Text GIFTING to 24700 to get your $25 off coupon. That's GIFTING to 24700. See a store associate for details.
How's the heating and AC at your house? If you've got any issues, you've got to call Right Home Services. Veteran owned and operated, they've been serving San Antonio for more than 45 years now. They're certified, background checked, and highly trained professionals. And right now, Right Home Services has a great special. This is for a whole home AC system replacement, $79.99 right now. The number's 210-444-0000, Right Home Services.
The right stuff.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So, what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Find great savings at our Red Tag sales event at North Park Chevy in Castroville. Get $15,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado 1500s. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado Heavy Duty. Buy a new 2026 Equinox for the low price of $24,999. Or get a 2026 Traverse for $36,999. Together, let's drive North Park Chevrolet by Loop 410 in Castroville or at NPChevy.com. Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
George gets justice. After an accident, a lot of people think they can't afford a lawyer. They're already stressed, hurting, or maybe out of work, and the last thing they need is a big retainer fee to get help. But here's the truth. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you only pay if they win. Real help is within reach. Right now, call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
Spurs taking on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight inside the Frost Bank Center. We're talking about it here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He's Jason Minix, and both teams shorthanded, Minix.
Oh, they are. A lot of calf injuries involved in this one. You still look at this game while your superstars are out in Wemby and Ja Morant for Memphis. De'Aaron Fox is going to be the best player on the floor. Devin Vassell might be the second best. Shorthanded, I still think the Spurs win this game.
Well, yeah, Memphis has not played well. You got Jaren Jackson Jr. over there. You don't want to forget about him from Memphis. But, without Ja Morant, that's going to be a difficult thing. And they weren't playing that well anyway, even with him. So the Spurs, this is a game the Spurs need to get even shorthanded. And I think the 6.5-point favorite, they should get this done tonight.
They should, except the injury issue in the NBA and not just in San Antonio. You could almost call it an epidemic. NBA star player percentage has fallen dramatically. NBA star players missing twice as many games as they did in 2023-24, and they define star players as guys that have been all-stars or are eligible for the Supermax. There actually is a definition for a star player just because of the high number of people that are out, and a lot of them are out with calf strains. Let's talk about it with Dr. Eloy Ochoa with our injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com. Doc, when you look at the number of calf strains, why are your teams being so overly cautious this year than maybe in years past?
It's a good question. I don't know that it really has to do with calf strains in general versus just being more cautious with all injuries in all players. That's kind of what I think is the case. Now, speaking specifically about the calf injuries, they do vary. Obviously, the school of thought's always been it's better to tear your muscle in your calf than to tear your Achilles. One of them heals, in a much quicker time frame and allows you to get back on the court, whereas the other one usually requires surgery and you're out for the season. The calf injuries vary. You could have a strain of the muscle where it doesn't quite tear. Those obviously you can return much quicker, and I think a lot of them, the majority of them, are kind of in that category and in the past. didn't make a big deal of them, especially the younger you are, because that's the other thing to take into consideration is how young is the patient? How quickly are they going to bounce back? Did they tear a muscle? Is there a buildup of blood? In fact, now they're even some cases evacuating that blood and injecting things like PRP in the hopes that it gets the players back on the court quicker. But that's the kind of perception I had just watching the season from the outside in. I didn't realize it was twice as many though, like you just said.
Doc, I'm just curious when you're talking about a calf strain and you want to be careful of it because of the Achilles, as you mentioned. How do you know when that thing gets better? Is that just a matter of the player saying, okay, I no longer feel anything, or is there a test you can do? How do you know when it's fully healed?
Yeah, we mainly go off of the subjective feeling of how the player feels and, kind of ramp up his return to, more impact, loading with like sports specific drills on the side to test him out and see how he responds. Now, there are objective measurements, and a lot of people will do, like weekly MRIs to see how much of the swelling and blood has kind of left the area that was injured. And they'll use that as a more objective criteria if you don't trust the feedback from the athlete. And then the exam can be helpful sometimes. Sometimes you can notice a little bit decreased swelling or when compared to the other leg. So those are the kinds of things we follow.
Doc, when you think about the calf strain that could lead to an Achilles injury, and you just think about the playoffs last year with Dame Lillard, Halliburton, Jason Tatum, they all at one point last year were dealing with calf strains, and then they blew out their Achilles and had Achilles tears. So is it just a matter of every team now is just gun shy, scared? It's calf strain, man. Go rest for a while, or is this year's version of load management? Because calf strain, all right, go sit down for 3 weeks and get your rest.
No, I think it's a combination of the load management, but also people are a lot more careful, because I think the first guy you didn't mention was Kevin Durant. I think he's the first, high-level athlete that I remember seeing have a calf strain, kind of come back from it, and then a couple months down the road tear his Achilles. Usually the rule of thumb with calf injuries, with muscle tears, is that they weren't really closely associated with Achilles tears. And then the other thing that wasn't very closely associated, we thought in the past, was inflammation of the tendon before, like Achilles tendonitis, which is a common injury as well. But it turns out, they are, each can be associated with them. And now that we've had this rash of 3 or 4 of them, maybe it's different with professional basketball players and the type of sport they're playing. So yeah, that definitely has put the brakes on coming back quickly and more aggressively, kind of fighting through the pain on the muscle strain than it used to be years past. And then of course, the load management's been an issue that's been creeping into the NBA. It's been more than 5 years. It's probably been about 10 years.
Yeah, it's awful. I would say get rid of that thing, Doc. Does it really, on that subject, does it really help the player? I mean, if you're playing an 82-game schedule, nobody's going to play the entire 82, most likely. But if you is it just to be healthier getting into the playoffs, if you only play, say, 65 or 70, does that make that big of a difference?
I think that we're just learning as we go along, and the more data you collect, the more definitive answers you can say as far as all right, at this age, load management should be this much, this should be okay, this much rest, this many games in a row is not good. It's more kind of a combination of experimenting, and everybody wants to be cautious. Everybody wants to be in their best shape when it really matters at the second half of the season. So timing is a big part of it as well. Obviously, a lot of these injuries, they'd probably be playing through if they really had to, if it was in the playoffs.
And that's, and you wonder, like, with especially some of the injuries in the playoffs, did that lead to the Achilles tear? Now, Dr. Eloy Ochoa joining us here for our injury update. There's one calf that's just more important than everybody else's, and that's Wemby's, right? And I say that kind of, well, I mean, it's Wemby, but, versus, say, a Dylan Harper, who also is out with a calf injury, when Jeremy Sohan was dealing with a calf that he hurt over playing for Poland. But at Wemby's size, at 7'4", 5', 6'8", whatever he is, because he's that tall, do you have to be extra cautious with him because of his height?
I can't speak for everybody. I think that my vantage point is yes. I mean, he is kind of an N of one. We don't really have information on people his size and how they'll react and how much stress they can take. We do know that, it's very common for 7-footers, 6'11" basketball players to have lower extremity injuries and, shorten their careers. It's very common. So that's something that they take into account, and they want to make sure his load management is obviously very important. And, I don't think we know the answer to those questions. But yeah, you think about it, it's tremendous stresses on his body.
All right, Doc, the Spurs announced today that Steph Castle has a left hip flexor strain. First of all, you're going to have to explain to me what that is and how severe is something like that.
It depends. It's the same kind of any other as like a hamstring strain. You think about it, it's just the opposite side of the thigh or the leg. So the rectus is one of the quadriceps muscles. So the muscles in the thigh and the front part of the thigh, whereas the hamstring tear is the back side of the thigh. And it helps with flexion of your hip, so bringing that leg up. So like if you're going to do a layup, for instance, you kick that right leg up. That's soccer players can get this injury as well because they have to kind of flex their hips pretty violently as well. And you can have a strain, you can have a tear of the muscle, but you can also have an injury where the tendon, where it attaches to the pelvis, actually comes off the pelvis. And it depends on which one he has, and obviously how much time he'll miss and when he'll be able to come back. But that's kind of how to think about it. It's just on the opposite side of the thigh.
Huh, interesting. Learn something new every day.
Absolutely. Always do every Tuesday.
Learn more about calves today than I ever wanted to know.
Probably more than you ever wanted to know, unfortunately.
Exactly. Dr. Eloy Ochoa with our calf injury update here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by the Sports Institute there at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Dr. Ochoa, always appreciate the knowledge and the insight. Dr. Ochoa and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
We're talking about calf strains and all of that kind of stuff. It made me think of football.
Yeah.
Even though it's a basketball injury.
Yep.
We got a big game in the Alamo Dome Saturday afternoon. East Carolina is in town to battle the Roadrunners of UTSA. 2:30 kickoff inside the Alamo Dome. We just happen to have a pair of tickets to give away to that.
We do. Hey, UTSA going for win number 6, so we'll give them to caller number 6 right now. And if you don't win them, buy them at goutsa.com. And don't forget, I just got a text message reminder. Their Fansgiving flash sale, 50% off. Ends tonight at midnight.
Well, if
11:59 p.m.
You don't win these tickets, you can get 50% off. Somebody's going to get them absolutely free right now, right
Caller
here on the
6.
Blitz. Caller number 6, good luck to you. Again, the Spurs in action tonight, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. We are going to be live at Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit tomorrow out in Shirts. In fact, everybody is. The fellows on the Morning Huddle will get you started at 6 o'clock out there at Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit in Shirts. They'll go 6 to 10, and then Minix and I are back 2 to 6 as usual out in Shirts. Coming up next, though, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, Extra Innings with Pleasure. Till then, everybody, have a great night, everyone.
KTFM Floresville, your home